Good Thursday, world. We are live. And welcome to another episode of Band Dog Talk with the Dog God. You're here with the Dog God, aka the coach, as usual. All of you regular attendees to the classroom, welcome back. God. And yeah, man, we're going to cook like we always do. Tonight we got a great topic. I mean, we always have great topics. Tonight we're going to discuss this particular topic, which I will put on the ticker. But before I do all that, you know how I do. I like to go over my week and stuff like that. But let me put this topic on the ticker first. Cause I know Young Reddy's gonna, he gonna remind me. Like, man, coach, you gotta put it on the ticker, man. Let that thing tick and tock on the ticker. So I'm gonna do that right now. Okay. Wow, right there. We there. And then before I even get into my work week, I want to give you guys a salute and a cheers. But like I always say, y'all, man, get y'all herbal sensations ready to go. Roll that thing up. Backwoods, Swisher Sweets, Gars, paper planes, bongs, whatever. I mean, with the pipes, whatever you decide to do, edibles. You know what I mean? You want to put some lotion on, some herbal sensation lotion on. Man, get that shit ready to go. We'll load it up. Like them brewskis, man, get that brewski out. Make sure it's cold. Crack that thing open. You know what I mean? You like your shots. Get your tequila out. Your Hennessy. You know what I mean? Whatever you like as far as your shots. Get that shit. Your cognac. Get that shit out. And if you operate like the coach with his mixed drink, man, get that mixed drink out, man. Make you a cocktail. I keep mine simple. I like to keep it simple, man. Life's already hard enough as it is. So any way that I can keep it simple, that's how I operate. KISS method, man. Keep it simple, stupid. So coach, keep it simple with his vodka lemonade. Cheers. Cheers to y'all, man. Cheers, man. Let me go ahead and Young Ready with the pole position. Salute, Young Ready. Nell Mac, salute. Caveman, big salute. Coop. What's good with you, Coop? Welcome back. So, as y'all know, it's no days off. Being a dog god, taking care of these dogs. It's always, it's no days off. Rain, sleet, hell, or snow. Sick, feeling good, feeling bad, feeling indifferent. Healthy, whatever. It don't matter. Dogs must be taken care of, and the show must go on. Must go on. So, nothing out of the ordinary, which I'm grateful for. No conflict, no yard accidents. So, very grateful for that. Still in amazement of my Formula One Bulldog puppies. Watch them grow, and of course, they're growing every day, but we do everything by week. And just seeing them develop, right in front of my eyes, from when they were born to, now getting ready to hit the 10-week mark. And, seeing their frames, seeing how they think too, seeing their confidence, seeing their tenacity, seeing how they, how they roughhouse each other. I'm, just seeing everything that I had in my lab notes. Me understanding Tigress and how she produces, because this is her third litter. So I already knew she was going to do what she did because she's already done it. You know what I mean? She's already done it. And me producing Red Tiger Jr., which was my first production off of Red Tiger himself, and taking Red Tiger to my bitch Silver Bullet, my band dog bitch, Silver Bullet, which she's a Neapolitan Mastiff, German boxer, American Bulldog game, Pit Bull cross, right? And then see Red Tiger Jr. come out damn near his daddy. But as he's growing, he's himself, you could tell that that's Red Tiger's son, obviously. And for me, because I cook with these dogs, right? I use their genetics, and I'm using their genetics because I want to keep what I see. So for me to be able to see Red Tiger into a total outcross, and with multiple different genetic variations to that outcross as far as breed types, and to see Red Tiger overpower those genetics phenotypically now, overpower them to where you see himself even through all those different breed types. That showed me that, you know what? If Red Tiger was alive today, or if I was able to get more than 3 straws, and I can keep that line going for a very long time. The Red Tiger line. I would have a line called Red Tiger. If he was still alive, knowing that he's producing himself like AK, and this is very rare as a dog breeder that you have dogs that produce their variants, like them, in anything you put in. It's very rare you get that. And based off of Red Tiger Jr., only one puppy, a singleton, with a band dog, all kind of different breed types, Red Tiger through and through that bitch. Then I take my last straw, run it to Tigress, because that was the original recipe. That was the original cook up. The first time didn't work, didn't take. I was hurt too, man. I was hurting in my heart, like, because I spent money on that breeding. You know what I mean? All the progesterone tests, all the back and forth. My fertility clinic's like an hour away there, hour away back. So 2 hours, gas money. The TCI costs, all that shit, man. To not get a litter, like, that shit hurt. You know what I mean? Hurt me. Pockets wise, hurt me emotionally. But then they take that last one, 1, 2, 3. Y'all know how I feel about that 3 number, right? For me to take that 3, that third one, put it in my bitch Tigress, and we get these like what I got right now. Wow. Like, I'm just like, wow. Like what I envisioned is there. Just like my lab notes, it matched. And like I said, I see what Tigress brings. Like, she make all her dogs is, everything she put out is, beautiful dogs, man. She makes them, she gives them that appeal, that sex appeal. She gives them different color coats, them different color coordinations and hues and colors. And y'all already know how the coach feel about colors. I don't care about no colors, but I know the consumer loves colors. And this is a low key business to a degree, right? It's a passion, and then of course we got to make money too to keep the shit moving. But to see these puppies, y'all, see them develop, see the vigor, right? To see better than me, knowing Tigress's flaws, Red Tiger's flaws, me knowing Tigress's strengths, Red Tiger's strengths, me understanding the most important play for me as a breeder of high performance working dogs, vigor, hybrid vigor, to see that variance in every one of the puppies and see vigor at play, hybrid vigor at play. I'm just like I said, I'm amazed, man. I'm just amazed. Like, I'm watching them and I'm seeing, I tighten. My thing too is Like I like the spread of them shoulders. I like the wide spread, I like wide bodies. It's like having a wide body kid. It's like seeing a Lambo, you know, motherfuckers out there, wide body, you know what I'm saying? Offset. I like that in my dogs. So, but one thing I don't like is dogs that's not tight in the shoulders because they too wide. Red Tiger, he was that way because he was too wide. Dope. I mean, look dope, but it used to scare me when I worked him and I would see him like stop on a dime, because he's very athletic, stop on a dime and I see his elbows kind of bow out and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, that's just, I was worried, like, oh my God, he's gonna dislocate his elbows because of the type of work that I do with my dogs. Tigress, she's got an extreme front too, you know. Now she keeps her shit tighter than Red Tiger used to, because like she never scared me when she was getting hurt. She was getting it in. Like for some reason, she kept her shit tight when she was running and doing her stuff. But like I see, because she does have an extreme front, I see how them elbows kind of flare. And like I said, from a stacking standpoint, it's dope. It should look dope. But from a performance standpoint, I don't like that. It's me personally. I don't like that. However, shout out to the Vigora, and shout out to all the other dogs that's in them genetics, right? Because it's Red Tiger's not heavily inbred. I mean, honestly, he ain't really inbred at all. And then Tigress ain't inbred, heavily inbred. So there's a lot of different genetic variances in there that I haven't seen, right? And then of course, we combine them together and then we shake it up, shake them up, shake them up, shake them, genetics, shake them up. And we ask God, please let that mathematics play. Please, God, let them genetics play that I envision, that I believe that's there, that I see that's there, and that I can correct and fix. And then you see these damn puppies, none of them have that fucking loose shoulders. None of them, but then they still got that motherfucking spread. They still got the shoulders. They got the necks. They got the rears too. Like, I don't like dogs that they rears don't match their fronts. Red Tiger, he had an extreme front, but his rear matched, which is like a blessing. His brother was more extreme front. Rear wasn't too off, but I can tell because I analyze my dogs like that. You know what I mean? Brutus, rest in peace, Brutus, his brother. Had a stupid front, but his rear didn't necessarily match. It wasn't off, but I could see it. But Red Tiger, he had the thick ass rear, extreme rear with the front. So it's, you know what I mean? His back, big ass rears, big rear muscles, and the crazy front. I look at these damn puppies though. None of them is they front match they rear match they front. But as I'm seeing them work and do they doggy shit, and I see them running around, I don't see none of that flaring of the elbows. And I'm like, yes. Now, one of the main things for me, and we're gonna get into the topic, but this is what I do. I always let y'all know what's going on in my week. The main thing that I wanted to see out of this litter is hybrid vigor fix what I didn't like about Red Tiger. The only thing that I didn't like about Tigress at first now, she wasn't bully enough as far as the bill. She's, she's more athletic built. Now, of course, I'm grateful that she is, because it adds an extra flair, an extra level to my puppies, and I've seen her produce what I like. So I'm grateful that she is who she is. But when I was new to the Bulldogs and I like them type looks, I like them NFL linebacker type Bulldogs, I was like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you Tigers, you ain't really matching my shit. And I still remember my dad to this day. He always remind me too. He's like, He's like, man, that bitch Tigress. I remember when he said that shit when he first saw it. Like, man, that bitch Tigress is sexy. My dad's a dog man too, but he's into like, labs and shit. He used to breed labs and shit, chocolate labs. That's what my dad was fucking with. But anyway, when he first saw Tigress, he was like, oh, that's a bad bitch. He called me coach too. He's like, coach, that's a bad bitch, coach. I'm like, I don't know about her, pops. You know what I mean? Dad, I don't know about her. He's like, nah, coach, that's a bad bitch. What that bitch produce, y'all? What this bitch be producing? What she produces? Like I said last time, she Hall of Fame, man. That bitch Hall of Fame. I don't know what's in her genetic profile. All I know is her daddy. I don't even know what's behind her daddy. I never got a chance to see the mama. The mama died giving birth, or actually died giving birth. I think one of the puppies, the breeder told me that one of the puppies was stuck. Then the guy he did the pup back deal with, bought the semen off of him, off of Tigress's daddy, did the breeding, did the pup back deal, whatever, paid his price, put the pup back. He said one of the puppies was stuck. He waited too long, took her to the vet. By that time, that motherfucker, I guess, was septic and the bitch died. So I didn't even get the chance to even see what she looked like. And honestly, I didn't even ask. I didn't ask how. Y'all, I didn't care. I just wanted the DNA. But when I tell y'all, whoever, and salute to the ones that got they, locked in and got their shit, or about to get their shit sent off. But whoever gets these, man, I mean, damn it, man, put the Formula One stamp on these, man. I mean, man, there's not one, even the smallest one, and they pick on her too because she's so sweet. But her structure is killing the game too. Like she got the structure, man, the head, the bone, the neck, the muscle. She's just a little small. She come in a little bit of smaller package, but she's a sweetheart. You know what I mean? They be picking on her because she's small. She don't want to get into all that rah rah rah. But she's courageous and all that shit. She's beautiful, beautiful ass bitch. But even she looked dope. I'm like, damn, yo, everything looks dope. So this week, just been admiring the puppies. Now they're able to go outside. I got an outside pen for them, and made sure I went ahead and bleached everything out over there for their new outside pen where they can be outside in the day and romp around. And that's what they've been doing, man, and enjoying the outside. We had some nice weather as far as just nothing raining and shit like that. It's been decent weather, so they've been outside in a little pen that I got for them, and seeing them out there running around and seeing a structure. I'm like, damn, coach. I'm like, damn, coach. No wonder you top 3 in the world when it comes to these high performance working dogs. No wonder you the Elon Musk of this fucking high performance working dog shit. You know what I mean? Having the vision first when I was 8, having the means and the property and then the money to buy top tier shit, not no garbage shit, but top tier shit. Then know how to put it together though, like experimenting, like being an artist with the breedings, like experimenting, but making sure mathematically and genetically that those experiments make sense first on paper, not just freestyling shit, but just okay. Red Tiger's this is what I don't like, this is what I do like, but this is what I see, this is what I know, this is what I should get. I don't know if I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna pray to God that I'm gonna get it, but I'm gonna mix it. I should be able to get that because I want Vigor to play. I want better, all that stuff in my mind to produce a litter like this, man. So, man, shout out to Red Tiger and shout out to Tigress, man, because like I said, whoever gets these, man, they'll thank me now and thank me later. They'll be like, yo, coach, coach. And that's all I want. You know what I mean? That's all I want. I want high performance working dogs. But not only do they perform great, but I want them to look great too. That's where my art come in. I make them look good and perform even better than they look. Right? I make them look great, but perform even greater. Like that's what I want to do. That's what I'm aiming for. And shit, man, these damn puppies are showing out, man. Bone, hey, bone, y'all. Bone, chest, heads, necks, spreads, rears, man. And that maximum prey drive, just like I drew them up in my lab. That's right. So cheers, y'all. Cheers, cheers, and more. Cheers. Functional focus. Big salute to your family. Big salute. So, without further ado, I'm going to drop the link. And we're going to cook, man. We're going to cook tonight. This is a great topic. And yeah, it's time to cook on this, man. And that's another thing too, y'all. What I do on Thursday night is classroom. Y'all have heard me say this before. I'm not an entertainer. I don't do this shit for likes. I don't do this shit for views. I do this shit for the classroom. I do this shit for the few dog men who are really serious about their craft. They really engineer minded, right? They do genetic mathematics. They have an artistic gift when it comes to creating. And we only cook to raise the bar higher. We ain't cooking just because. We not cooking over here just to keep it the same. We're cooking to raise the bar. Every time the breeding is bred or the dogs are bred, bar is raised. Okay, so this is for the engineer-minded dogmen, high-performance dogmen, okay, who understand that thinking outside the box is how we create a box. We create the box by thinking outside of it, if that makes sense. I'm sure y'all can catch with that. So hopefully y'all taking y'all notes, like I always tell y'all. You know what I mean? Y'all always go play back. You know what I mean? We put about 3 hours on average of content, classroom shit. If you're paying attention, following instructions, cooking, experimenting, but cooking with the right genetics, you're gonna raise the bar in your yard. I guarantee it. You know what I mean? But if you come into class, y'all ain't paying attention, whatever, goofing off in the back, remember back in the day, you had some of the kids in your classroom in the back that's be goofing off, you know what I mean? Yeah, you might be one of those, hear bullshit and whatever. All right, yeah, okay, cool. Then it's in one ear and out the other. But if you're paying attention in class, man, you really get this shit. And like I said, this topic tonight, we're going to really dig deep into it because, I think it's something that we need to really elaborate on and understand. So let me drop that link. And if you are qualified, you will be entered on the panel. So ta-da, link is in the chat. Link is in the chat. Man. Hey, so remember when I told y'all that the dog game is racist? And like I said, nothing against my other nationality of brothers, Mexican, Black, Asian, whatever. I still, to this day, maybe it's just Instagram, right? Maybe it's just Instagram. I don't know. Salute, caveman.
Well, I guess I'm still qualified.
Who said you weren't qualified?
I need a drum roll while I'm trying to get in the studio.
Young ready. But hey, so salute, young ready. So anyway, back when I was saying about the dog game being racist.
What's up, fellas?
What's up with you, young ready?
Chilling, man.
It is racist. How's that dog doing?
Great. Couldn't complain, man. No complaints. So.
Yeah, congratulations on your new doggy, man.
It feel like he protected me already, man.
My condolences to your bully that passed away too, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'm still trying to understand how that happened. I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times you be baffled at shit. I've been baffled at dogs that passed away. Like what? How did that happen? So I mean, unless you get an ecropsy, you'll never know.
Yeah,
Unless you know, right? Unless you know, you'll never know. So
exactly.
But you
Yeah.
know what? God bless you with another, and like I said, it doesn't disregard your loss, but at the same time, you're able to kind of level up with your new dog. So God is good, man.
Yeah, he sure is. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let me go ahead and elaborate on this dog game being racist, right? So I've been pushing hard, like a hard line to the public as far as like dogs for sale for the past 3 years, like hard, right? Now, back when I started back in '05 doing my breedings, I had a network of friends and family and associates that would see me with my dogs. I used to always be with my dog. I used to have my dog with me like you would carry a pistol if you was, licensed to carry. I always had my dog with me in my car with me everywhere. And so because I always had my dog with me, all my partners, all people who seen me, anybody who was around, it was easy, hey, where you get so, selling my dogs back in those days that was easy. That was cake because it just came around based off of all the people I was around. Then I get on social media, push a hard campaign, build a following, etc. And I started, look at my data for my sales and my clientele. And I told y'all before when I bought AK, I was able to communicate with salute to you, Nell Mac.
So
I was able to communicate with a breeder who produced AK's daddy, Gunner, and he's a brother. His name is Greg. I've mentioned him before, but he told me off the top what I was gonna, be into, what I should be aware of about this dog game. And he told me off the top, like, the dog game is racist. Like, when it comes to us, as far as minorities, let's say particularly black, he says that when it comes to our dogs, the others, for some reason, don't want to buy from us for whatever reason. And of course, at that time, I didn't understand it, but of course, I took it as game, right? So then, as I'm in, I'm campaigning, I'm doing my thing, I'm showcasing, the dogs is doing what they do, I'm getting everybody chiming in, all my brothers, all nationalities. However, when it comes to my sales, it's like 95% black. So I'm like, damn, I was like, damn, like what? My dogs ain't black. But my fanfare, right? My fanfare is all kind of people because the dogs, right? But when it comes to the business side of it, it's the black. So even now, right? I bought Red Tiger and his brother, and I got all them genetics from uh, a breeder who happens to be white. And they were known, and I'm sure they've sold dogs to all of it. They sold it to us brothers, and I'm sure some Mexicans. A lot of white people, obviously, but all nationalities, even me. I'm a brother. I bought from them. I have these dogs, and the people who know about them know I got it, and they be in my shit. They be in my DMs, my PMs, whatever. Fuck, they know I got it. They fans. But it seems to me that when I got it for sale, and they be like, "Oh, I want this, I want that." Where they at? You know what I'm saying? Where are those people at? My brothers is in there. My brothers is they in my DMs. But when it comes to the others, I don't. That's the part I don't get about this dog game. But then I was reminded about what I was told. You know what I mean? And I had to believe it because it's like I'm not the dog. I'm just a spokesman of the dog, right? If we all in tune with dog, I don't care who it come from. I don't care who the dog come from. I done spent bread with black, white, Mexican, Asian. I done spent bread buying dogs from all. I don't care who it come from. I'm buying a dog, but for some reason, which my brother Greg was telling the truth, because I'm wondering why this is. It's like most of my consumers are my brothers. You know what I'm saying? And the plus is that, thank you for spending with me. Those brothers that got their money right. But the minus is that there's very few of the brothers that be hitting you up got their money right. So in a perfect world, if my clientele was diverse, which it should be, because it's all about the dogs, that's what we do this for. Man, I mean, there would not be, bro, I'll be cooking up some next level shit all the time. But being that majority of the clientele is going to be more of our race when you're a brother, when you're black, excuse my language, but you know what I'm talking about. The majority of the ones who's trying to shop with you that are your race ain't got their money right. I told y'all this last time when I had my rant. They ain't got their money right. So as a black man seeing my brothers coming on my line, hitting me up, in my mind already, I'm thinking to myself off the top, like, why you hit me up? You ain't got your money right. Now you might have your money right. But we got to look at the numbers because that's how we operate. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to let you guys know, my fellow brother dog men out here, if you out here really campaigning, you got top tier dogs, you doing your thing, man. Just understand what the coach just told you. Yeah, I'm just going to pass it on down. Dog game is racist. It is what it is. I don't understand why. It don't make no sense when it comes to a dog. You buying a dog. You ain't buying me. You buying a dog. Dog ain't black, white, it's a dog. But for some reason, it just seems like, the others don't want to spend no money with us, man. And then the brothers that do be hitting us up about freaking, man, 95% of them that hit you up ain't got no money. So the rest, you better cherish the 5% that got their money right. Because that's how it is. It's just very sad, but it's true. But other than that, let's cook up on the topic. So the topic tonight is, why are diluted dog bloodlines of the past talked about like they are potent today? Okay. Now, you know how the coach like to do. I like to sit back and then chime in later. I want the panel to, cook up on this because I love to hear y'all point of views on this topic. And then, I come in and, add my little 3 cents in there and, we'll carry it on. But this is something that is, especially with the pit bulls. So anybody want to answer this question first?
I could crack at it. I'll take a little crack.
What?
Maybe because it's the dogs that they got today, they want to use those bloodlines and reenact like they still got those dogs to sell them, so they could be able to sell their puppies.
That is a damn great point there, Young Ready. That's a great point. Anybody else want to add to Young Ready? Because that's a great point he just made. What about you, Nell Mac? You know what I mean? Can you elaborate?
I think because it holds the look, the dog hold the look that they're trying to breed sometimes, maybe, and it hold the function, maybe the purpose. Sometimes, maybe the color and the style, so they can sell the pups for high dollar.
That's a great point too.
Facts.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Hey man, I already know what come on, Kay, man.
Well, that pretty much covers it. It's the prestige, the legacy, and everybody likes a story to tell. But in the end, it boils down to what they said.
Right.
It's your gives your dogs that street clout, and makes them worth something. So you got a story behind them.
Yeah. That's true.
Coach, I want to tap in
That's very true.
on your beginning statement too.
Yes, sir.
When I look at things as a when I look at it as a whole, I look at it like businesses. Like when you go to a Jamaican restaurant or African restaurant, you see kind of mixed people in there that want to dine and kind of get that cuisine, right? But if you go
Yes.
to a small independent black restaurant, you really don't see nothing but, you know, the people that they're trying to serve. So it in business, I kind of looked at it like that. Like if I'm gonna have a black restaurant, you either need to go all the way with a with some type of culture, or you need to not let the people know who the actual, backing of the restaurant is, so it can become multiverse.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I
So
agree
I
with
was
you on that,
think
Neil Mac. I
with
go ahead. Go ahead.
with dogs, I was thinking sometimes when you add kids and a wife or a woman, it fluffs it up a little bit.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're definitely right about that. And it ties into, let's say for me, right? You never see the coach. You know the coach is there. I mean, obviously you can tell when I talk that I might be ethnic, but what you see is the dogs. And so I did that on purpose because I want to be, multi when it comes to my consumers, my dog lovers.
Right.
Now, when it comes to music, what do I got to play? Some Taylor Swift? What I got to play? Some Garth Brooks or something? Like, do I got Shania Twain? What I got to do? I got to, some Katy Perry maybe. Maybe the music I got to shift up.
Please don't.
My point is, but my point is that I see it exactly the way you see it, Neil Matt. Um, However, this is where I'm confused. If we are dog men and dog women, and you see a dog that you like, and you see that dog has whatever offspring that you like, that you want a piece of, it shouldn't matter. That's where I'm at in my mind. Like as a business person, like if you got it and you from Saudi Arabia or whatever, whoever you are, you might be gay, straight, transgender, I don't care. Me, I want the dog. And that's why I'm baffled about it because it's the dog. You know what I mean? Who cares who I get it from?
Right.
However, that's not how it works, which, like I said, I'm baffled about that part because it's not like, we pushing a black dog and I'm pushing an urban dog on you. No, there's so many people that love bulldogs or band dogs or whatever it might, whatever dog you might have. So many types of people, but why are only a certain type of people shopping with you? That's the thing where I'm just like confused. I really am. But I see it with other breeders. Like, for example, Butlers, Rottweilers. He got a big he got a big following, right? The majority of his customers is black too.
Damn.
So it's like, why is that? Like that's where I get confused, y'all. That's all I'm saying. That's why I'm like confused. It's like, I don't care. Like I told y'all, I done bought dogs from all kind of races. I don't care who the dog comes. I call the number up. I see the dog. I call the number up. Hey, you got the dog? You got the puppy? I love it. Can you give me some game about it? Okay, cool. I want to buy it. That's how it is. It's simple. But that doesn't seem like that's how it works for us. That's all. At least it ain't working for me like that. They'll hit me up, but I ain't spending no bread. And shout out to my white brothers that and that have spent bread, the 2%.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's just such a discrepancy. That's all I'm saying. It's a discrepancy, man, and it's obvious.
We got to find a way to solve that, man.
There's no way to solve it. It just is what it is. It's just racist. It is what it is. There's no way to solve it because it doesn't make sense now. How would you solve it? You know what I mean? How would you solve it? It just doesn't make sense now.
Yeah, I mean,
But, it is what it is, man.
We just
yeah, because
some way we gotta come together. That's all. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, that's gonna be the only way because even your boy who you did the interview with, he went over there with the Sin City Pits and collab.
Who
The
you
guy
talking
that
about?
with all,
Who you talking
the
about,
guy that
though?
got all the straws.
Who that?
Sin City
Who's that?
Pits
Yeah.
in Vegas.
Oh, Sin City Pits. Okay. Go ahead.
Trevor went over there, and the guy was shooting him a lot of game. So it would have been nothing for him to tap into his, you know what I mean? But he went a different way.
But see, my point. Okay, so you just made a point that I wanna elaborate on. See, we our the brothers, right? We'll go spin with the white man.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to my white brothers. K-Man, please. I told y'all, K-Man, you already know what time it is, man. I got respect for all y'all. So I'm just talking out loud. So just don't take it like I'm
Wait for
talking
my
down or
turn,
nothing
homie.
like that.
I'm loading up.
Okay, I'm just saying. Okay. So, like what you mentioned, Matt, you mentioned that Trevor went over there and hollered at Sin City Pit. Now, I respect Sin City Pitts and his program, but I guarantee you he has probably like a little bit more of the white clientele, but a lot more as far as a ratio with the brothers shopping with him too. The discrepancies is not off too much with Sin City and what he got going on. He got, Dope Dogs and, he's tied in with Iron Cross and all them. They've been around for a long time. So, he's established. But he's got brothers hitting him up like Tom Gardner's, right? Tom Gardner been in the game a long time. Tom Gardner got all kind of people. He got his, got the white guy, got the brothers, a lot of brothers shopping with him. But why is it so lopsided with us? If I got top tier dogs, why is it so lopsided? Why is the brothers with money spending money with the others? And then when it comes to us, a smaller percent of the brothers with the money ain't spending money with us. Like that shit right there blows my fucking mind. It's like, yo, we'll go spend with, Tom Gardner and them all day long. Piggyback them, all the shit. But then time for the brothers and shit, it's like, 5% of the brothers is the one with the money. The rest of the 95% of the brothers ain't got no motherfucking money. Like, what the hell? That's what y'all go when y'all go talk to Tom Gardner and shit? No, y'all come with y'all money. That's what's so mind-boggling about this dog game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would really have to have like 100,000 plus followers so that you can really make your program make sense financially. Like, you would have to have 100,000 followers to make your program financially successful if you're going to only deal with our people.
Yeah,
because the majority of our people,
serious.
Right. That's the sad part. But then people like myself, maybe you guys, when we go talk to, like I said, Tom Gardner, or let's say my man over there, Sin City Pitts, or whoever I've ever talked to, you know what I mean? I come spending my money. Now they want to talk to me because I talk with my money first. I don't be talking with the bullshit and the fluff. And that's why, I said what I said, about just this dog game being racist, because I see it, and it's crazy. Like, oh man, I want one of them, especially AK. When I had AK puppies, man, so many cats from the UK was hitting me up. Oh man, I gotta get one of those. Did any of them buy? None. Cats hit me up. Oh, I want the stud fee. My white brothers. All right, man. I need Andre 3 stat. I need 3,000. All right, coach. I'll get at you. None.
Because they're racist.
But let me go over there and talk to like. Well, I don't know if it's like blatant, but it's just like, I just don't understand why you hit me up, but you ain't spinning. Where it's like, I hit I hit whoever I'm hitting up. I don't care who they are. You know what I'm saying? As long as they got the dog on when I'm spinning. So go ahead, K man. I know you've been holding back, man. Go ahead, K man.
No, not really. I don't really think it's that deep like you think. I mean, these motherfuckers don't want my dogs either, and they don't treat each other any different. You know what I mean? There's a lot of dirty shit in the dog game. It's not exclusive to a race.
Mm.
You know, I mean, it does exist to some extent, but
Right.
Man, and a lot of white people, they don't want them band dogs. They want to fuck Pomeranian.
They acting, so they're tough acting. Tough acting on the dog.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you got that too. Yeah, you got that too. You got the wannabes. Yeah, you got the B-Rads. You've seen Malibu's Most Wanted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you have. Yeah, you got the B-Rads out there, but yeah, a real dog man don't care.
Right. That's the only thing where I'm at.
But it's more of a class thing, right? But it's more of class warfare. I'm telling you, I'm in the same boat with them people that you are. You know what I mean? They don't want me in the game either. They don't want any honest people in the game to begin with. They want to keep control of that shit.
Right. So even if you racist and I'm a car salesman, how can I still sell you? You know what I'm saying? There's a way I can still sell you this car.
Well, I mean, if you got something somebody wants, they're going to get it.
Right.
Basically.
There you go. They're going to get it. Exactly. Whether
I mean, I'm not
black,
saying,
white, or Mexican or anything.
I know that racism, right. Yeah, racism is still alive. And, I mean, you guys all need to look in the mirror too, because it's not, it's not exclusive. It's not exclusive to any one color. And matter of fact, a lot of black people are more racist against other black people than white people.
Facts.
Yeah, and that's the part that trips me out.
Yep.
They'll go by the dog from that.
Oh
Okay,
damn! Okay, man.
He was speaking what you were saying.
Go ahead, Neil Mac.
Now he was about to tap into what you were saying.
Neil Mac. Yep. And you know what I mean, and it's just it's so sad, man. It's just like
I ain't mean to drag this conversation. I just had to, you know what I mean.
It all
plays
a part, man. It all plays a part into it.
It does. You know what I mean? And that's why I said we in the classroom, so we talking all the real shit over here. You know what I mean? So yeah, that plays whatever, So no, don't apologize for that. You know what I mean? It plays. Everything plays. You back, caveman? You back?
Yeah, what I miss?
You was cooking,
but yeah, no, he was cooking. You back, caveman? If you know what I'm saying, you want to finish what you were saying?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much did.
Okay, but what?
Yeah, it. Yeah, it is for sure. Yeah, a lot of it's at television. I'm telling you, them rights leaders have been breeding this shit for votes and for donations.
Yeah.
And I mean,
very sad.
You don't want to know something that trips me out is how people will tolerate somebody like Joe Biden saying, well, black people vote this way and Latinos vote this way. I mean, you telling me that black people and Latino people are all photocopies. Like they all do the same job and they all have the same lifestyle and they all get up the same time every day and they all fuck the same and they all eat the same and they all vote the same way. I know that's not true from knowing my own race. You know,
That's fact.
Facts.
Yeah. That's propaganda. I mean, that's how they program you with the bullshit. You know, but
well,
like
to
I
keep
always
you
tell you
down
guys, it's like
so you don't realize the power you have.
true. And that's why I always tell y'all, like, this is about the dogs, man. It ain't about nobody ain't about no individuals. You know, this is about the dogs, bettering the dogs, you know, being better, you know, performance dog breeders, being, you know, better dog men and dog women. That's what this is about. And like I said, if you, regardless of you know who you are, create superior dogs and I want it and my money's right, I'm gonna spend with you. I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, I don't know. Man, you know you charge a lot for those. You know, I mean, I was a Buff Dog fan, but now a brother got it. I don't know if I'm gonna spend my money with him. I've always wanted one though. You know, shit like that just kind of like baffles you. Not to say that that's what's happening, but it's just like like you said, caveman. Like the brothers will go over there to the others and we'll pay that money that they're asking. But then when it come to the coach child or one of us brothers that got the shit too, they don't want to pay the money. They ain't got it. They want something for nothing.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, too, I just thought of this. The dog breeding thing is kind of a European origin, too. So I guess if he was
Really?
psychologically, you're probably thinking, well, I guess some white people probably got the game on that dog breeding thing. They've been doing it for 300 years.
That's what I learned.
I mean, I imagine subconsciously that plays into it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I didn't even think of it like that.
Nah, that's
But
it.
hopefully it will change. And it will go back to where it should be, or maybe it will turn into where it should be when it comes to the dogs. You know, whoever has the best dogs, you know, spin with them. I don't care who, spin with them. They got the best shit, spin with them. You know what I mean? Other than that,
I mean, we're tearing
they're not
down
worthy.
barriers right now.
Yeah, we are. We are, man. But let's cook on this topic, man. Let me go ahead and piggyback on what you guys said. Everything that you guys mentioned about, you know, the topic tonight, which are wire diluted dog bloodlines of the past, talked about like they are potent today. The main reason, and we all kind of, you know, you guys all kind of summarized it, but from my perspective, and I want to give a shout out to Schoolboy. I don't know if you guys know who Schoolboy is. He used to be in the.
Oh yeah, shout out Schoolboy.
Yeah, shout out Schoolboy, man.
So, you know, I'm always at the game. I call it at the game, at people's games. Like, you know, I'm a avid dog man. I like to study. I like to watch people play their game, and that's why I call it when people, you know, do they dog talk or stuff like that. I'll be like, I'm at that game. I'm in the stands, but the coach is in the back taking notes. You don't even know the coach is there, but the coach is there. So I remember early bird peeping Schoolboy and, you know, listening to him talk. And of course, you know, that's a man that's a veteran when it comes to the dogs and got a lot of experience and actually went to jail about them dogs. And, you know, so definitely intrigued me, you know, just to know his knowledge and his experience. And I remember early bird when I was peeping up, he was talking about, they were talking about blue dogs on Buck City's channel. And they was clowning blue dogs. This is a while back. Clowning, oh, blue dog, that's bullshit. Ain't no pit bull. And I remember I heard Schoolboy talking about blue dogs on another channel, and he was saying how there were blue dogs that were game pit bulls that he know of. However, when he was on that panel, when they was talking down, ain't no such thing, da 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 da. Schoolboy didn't say nothing. This is a while back. He didn't say nothing. And so me in the back, I'm like, Schoolboy, I heard you talking about, this is me talking to myself. Like, Schoolboy, I heard you talking about you saw blue dogs back in the day. There were blue game pit bulls, but you didn't, you didn't correct these cats on the panel talking that shit about blue dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't do that. So I was disappointed in Schoolboy, right? I'm like, man, you got people watching. You know what I'm saying? People that respect you because of your experience and then listening, and then you not standing up. I'm like, okay, so maybe he just didn't want to be politically incorrect. So I gave him a pass, but I was like, But anyway, if y'all know, Schoolboy writing a book about dog breeding. And there's a lot of discrepancies when it comes to these game dogs and how they were bred. A lot of discrepancies, which we've talked about before, but being that Schoolboy is writing a book, I'm sure there was a lot of things that he's heard in the past, maybe seen in the past, that he probably was scratching his head about with these breedings, before social media and all this shit that we got now today. Now that he's writing a book, he's doing his studying because, he got to make sure his book is, makes sense for people to buy it. Because he's trying to, show you how to breed performance dogs. So now when he's talking, now he's debunking all that bullshit that these individuals think that is the golden, rule and standard for these particular dogs that they talk about today. Eli, Red Boy, all these dogs that they still talk about today, Mayday, all these dogs. Now Schoolboy is talking truth. Which, of course, if you're a real dog man, we already understand that. I mean, Caveman mentioned that before about these dogs. And those of us who understand dogs, and how dogs are made and hybrid vigor and all these things, we know better. But some people who are very naive about dogs, or like you guys mentioned earlier, like want to piggyback off of names for sales, riding the wave because that's the wave. And they're going to claim that, dogs are what they are when they truly are not. That's pretty much the standard of today when it comes to these dog channels. Okay. Now, those of us who understand dogs for real and we breed for real, there's no way that I would think a dog from 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 20 years ago would be relevant if it's not in, like I mentioned before, at least within the first 3 generations. There's no way that I would think to call a bloodline of dogs, a certain dog. Not only are you calling a certain dog, you're also discrediting all the dogs behind that made the dog, right? You're discrediting them because it starts somewhere. But then you start your line off of a dog based off of whatever popularity, whatever, that's the line. Then 20 years later, 30 years later, you still call it that line. And it's so far back diluted, but you still calling it that line today. That right there, to me, as someone who really cook dogs and understand that if I'm thinking that I got a dog 6 generations back that's still playing today, knowing damn well that dog is only 6 generations back. There's that dog that is the bloodline that we talking about, whatever that dog is, those genetic characteristics, everything that dog represents, why you made it the line. If that dog is not in that within that first 3 generations, that shit washed out. That shit, what I said, diluted. However, a lot of people who don't know no better when it comes to breeding, they pushing this agenda about dogs that are 30 years back, 20 years back, and they calling them, oh, that's this type dog, that type dog, that's this type dog, that type dog. And there's no way that dog is that. Just think about our ancestors and our great granddaddy and grandmama who, we are not them no more.
Right.
Yeah, the DNA is tracked, but there's so many genetic explosions and variances within those, 16 generations, however, 10 generations back, whatever. There's so many variances to the genetic code. There's no way that we could be that of our great grandparents. No way. Unless it was bred that way, inbred, right?
Right.
Their kids kept humping each other and making kids. Then those kids humped each other. That's the only way. And we know that shit, the Royals did that shit back in the day. That shit was destructive. That shit made a whole bunch of retarded ass kids. So they stopped that. They tried that back in the day. But that didn't work genetically. It doesn't work. So for individuals in this dog game to still promote that today in 2025, like them dogs of in the 1970s, 80s, and 90s is still the dogs that's playing today, and you pushing that as a line, that shit gotta stop.
And
Now
why they only
watch
be
this.
having one dog?
Oh, elaborate, Neil Mac. What you mean?
Like I be noticing they have one dog. Like I never see nobody say, "Boy, I got a litter of them red boy Jockos," or "Here go a yard of them red boy Jockos," or this or that. It just be one dog. What are brothers and sisters?
You put a funny spin on that. I never thought of it that way, but you're basically saying all them other dogs you bred for the last 6 generations ain't shit.
And shit.
Yeah,
Basically.
they just get that one
Right.
dog that look like it, and they be like, "Oh, that's it. I got that." Da da
They
da
call
da.
the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that dog's 6 generations back, he better be the stud to every dog in that 6th generation. He better be on the top
Correct.
side every time, or it ain't his line.
Or he ain't shit.
That's why I say if it's not in that top 3, if it's not within that 3 generation, I give it that 3 piece. If that dog that is that line,
Right.
that blood, that little dog, if it's not within the 3, any part of that 3, whether it's top or bottom, or if it's not anywhere in that 3, there's no longer, that dog is diluted. That shit's so diluted out. There's no way that that's that dog.
6.25%. Yeah, 6.25% in the force. That's how much influence he's got.
So it's like, how can we be calling those, let's say, red boy dogs, nigger, whatever dogs, Mayday dogs, if they're not cooked in that first 3, in the, like I said, that dog that whatever that dog genetic characteristics that you say, okay, that's the line I'm making it. This dog, whatever, was better than the previous ancestors before it. So I'm gonna make this dog a line. Not only is it better, but it produces itself. Because that's another thing too. You might have a better performing dog, but it's not a good producer. We talked about that as well.
Yep.
So let's say if that dog is a better dog that was produced from the past, is superior over the parents and the previous generations, that dog can produce itself. Now you say, okay, boom, this is the line. This dog is actually throwing those genetic characteristics, whether it be phenotype or genotype, temperament, whatever. We know it's throwing it because we've put it in multiple different bitches, and he's throwing himself or she's throwing herself. Now you gotta, if you want to continue that particular dog line, you need to make sure that them genes are always in the forefront for it to be 20 years later still that dog's line. Because like you said, caveman, all the ones that came after that dog, we just throw them out the window. Who the fuck is they? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, obviously they're a part of it, but we calling, the dogs of, let's say, 16 generations or whatever, 10 generations, a dog 10 generations back. Don't make no sense. And a lot of, I would say young dog men in their mind, not the dog men who just don't know no better and they just piggybacking and, like you said, clouting the dog bloodline. They know what they're doing. But the younger dog men who think that that's how it goes, and then they kind of buy into that shit, and you think you really got that genetically, we in the classroom, genetically, you don't have it. You don't have it.
What about like muscle tone?
Yeah, if you got a bloodline, there should be more than one dog out of that bloodline in that pedigree. Also, It should be a pattern.
That goes to what I like to say about the recipe. Now, let's say Carver, these old dogmen that people respect, they had a formula. A lot of times they didn't tell you the formula because they were competing with them dogs, which I get it. If you have a dog formula and it's not based off of, like you said, Caveman, one particular dog, then whatever that formula is, you can keep that formula going because it's the formula. It's not necessarily the dog.
Okay, yeah.
If that makes sense.
The formula is in the Bible, actually.
Man, elaborate, Caveman. Go ahead.
Okay, back in the day, before everything got corrupted, the Israelites used to breed this way. It was it'd be like first cousin or uncle, niece. Like you went to the male side because you get your mitochondria from your female, so you don't want to inbreed on the female side any more than you have to anyway. At least for a long-term breeding project, I should say. You want to stay to the male side, and you go to your dad and go to his brother and get one of his pups or him. Okay. But if you get one of his pups, then you got the dad's genetics, but it's not the same as dad. So you got your diversity, but then you also have the diversity of the other female with the pups, and hopefully
that's that line breeding.
Yep. Or you do like you take a male, breed him to a female. Well, multiple females, but you breed him to one female and you keep a daughter, and then you breed him to another female, and then breed one of those pups out to something else, and then take one of those males out of the second generation and breed to the female out of the other cross. So now your stud dog is he's the grandfather on one side and great grandfather on the other side.
And you just broke down what I'm cooking up.
Yeah, you want to keep a little distance, but you want to use the male. And I mean, you can do the female, but you don't want to keep repeating that long term. But you can absolutely take a female and breed her to 3 different males and establish a line. Or I mean, you can inbreed her pups too, but especially on these outcross dogs, like you know what I mean. You already know they're when you're doing these hybrid dogs, it's way different than doing an existing breed that's already been inbred.
Right. Correct. Yeah. Like
because to me, in an existing breed. Yeah, in an existing breed, there should be no inbreeding, and to any line breeding, there should be no outcrossing. Those are all stages in a game, and you shouldn't be flip-flopping all over. You know what I mean? You outcross to make something new, you inbreed to lock it in, and then you line breed selectively to keep those traits and to keep your diversity.
Yes. Yep.
Yep. And if you have to outcross your line breeding, you did something wrong.
There's something wrong.
Yeah.
What do you say, Matt?
I say in this 30-second market, nobody trying to take their time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to
take me, and I hold my pups back. Make my selection out of adults.
That's smart
for breeding. When I'm getting shit started, you know.
You see Chris the Del Cambray's question, right? His drawing up there, right? His answer, right?
Yeah, I can't see anything, by the way. Like I can't see the chat, and I see that I see that spotlighted question, but I can't read that on this phone.
He said,
"Go ahead, young lady."
I know you might not have been talking to me, but I figured I'd put that out there.
He said if you're only
Just in case
showing
anybody tries to talk to me.
if you're only showing your dogs on Instagram, Facebook, 98% is just going to be viewers. They're not even window shoppers. You'd be better off advertising in the back of a Tractor Supply magazine, etc.
Damn.
Yeah,
And that's
I'd
kind of
agree with that.
facts. A magazine.
You're in a group. Now I used to sell my LGDs in the farming groups.
Yeah, I was in, I used to be in actually I'm still in some groups, man. But what I've noticed about those groups is a lot of like the moderators, they be hating.
Worse. Yeah.
Like that's what I've witnessed when I was, what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
they'd be hating on me. Yeah, they fucking hate me.
yeah. So that's what I've noticed, you know what I mean? Because anybody that get a lot of action on they post and shit, they be hating. So I'm like, man, y'all special. Like, man, why y'all holding back my post and stuff? Like, you know what I mean? So they see you get traction and then they be holding back your posts. You know what I mean? You put a post up and then they'll be just, like, damn, they didn't even post that shit yet. Like, what's going on? But I got it. I understood it. It's like anybody who getting real, like a lot of traction on them groups and it's not them, it's not the moderators, they'll hate on you. And that's what they did to, they've done that to me multiple times.
Yeah, that's why.
So it's like, man, groups, I can't get no love out of them groups, man. You know what I mean? Like I've been doing that, but they're fans. But let the coach post some puppies and shit and watch what happens. I won't even say for sale. I'll just post one. And then oh man, my shit get blocked or it don't even get posted. So I'm like, all right, man, I see how y'all operate. But you know what? Y'all also too, because like I said, if you're doing it as a business, you gotta have your Google ads. You feel me? You gotta do your boosting and the post and all that shit. Like I play all that, I mean, it's a business for me. So I hit them all up. I haven't put nothing in the back of Tractor Supply magazine, but I use Facebook and Google ads. But you paying for that. You know what I mean? You paying for that though. But just think about, like we mentioned before, about supporters. And like I bought AK because of a post that I saw on Instagram. I've sold a lot of dogs to people on Instagram and Facebook. Well, not Facebook. I got Facebook, but because you know how you can link your Instagram to your Facebook. So
it's all
I got
connected.
Facebook.
It's all
Yeah,
connected.
it's all connected because it's all set. Yeah. But my Facebook following, I haven't sold not one dog off of my Facebook following. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, that's where the Karen's at.
So yeah, that's where the Karen's at for real. You know what I mean? And the super haters is over there. The super duper haters is on Facebook. So I don't even try it. I don't even try that shit. But I mean,
I bet I've caused so many mental breakdowns on Facebook.
man, I don't even.
They're all pushing an agenda. They're all pushing that AKC, spay and neuter, inbreed, and adopt, don't shop, and you can't make mixed breed dogs because they won't work.
Yeah, and then you got breeders who come in the game with a lot more expense than the normal breeder. So they got apps and websites, and then they talking down on us saying if they ain't got this, you don't need to buy from them.
Yeah. Or everything got to be health tested.
Yep, true story. Yeah, I was just gonna say that's gonna be the next one.
That's what they be pushing now. Is it?
My question is how the fuck? How we made it this far? How the dogs made it this far and done the amazing things they've done when Embark is what, a 15-year-old technology?
Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. We wasn't, to get these great dogs of the past, we weren't asking about no health test.
That's all new stuff.
Oh, we health tested them, but it wasn't on paper.
It wasn't on no paper. We just did that.
Yeah, the survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
It was survival of the fittest. You know?
You have to spend hundreds and thousands
Same way I do it now.
on your dogs like that.
I had somebody test one of my dogs. They sent it in, and they tested it for 159 genetic defects and found 0. Straight up fucking mutt.
Well, we talked about that mutt shit way back in the days. We talk about how the mutt dogs is the ones that's fucking living 16 fucking 19 years eating trash and scavenging, and they just breeding however they breed.
Well,
But,
they didn't though, because I was selecting them for the fittest. You know what I mean? I did the breeding, but it wasn't right. But I wasn't selecting by breed. I was selecting by traits.
Right. But I mean, I was going a step further to the ones that used to run the neighborhood type dogs, and how them dogs is bred whatever. They just hump whatever. And them dogs is living and surviving on their own. But, you know, you got these dogs that be in people's houses and shit, dying of cancer and shit.
Yep. I remember.
Makes you wonder how the deer do it.
Drinking that dirty water.
The deer, I mean, because the deers are vegetarians. That's how they do it.
Well, okay, but every other animal, the bears, the wolves, everything.
Yeah.
Random breeding and selection, survival of the fittest.
That's what it is, survival.
They don't need people. Yep.
When you get
all them turtles
with them, with those numerous points that you ain't never seen a buck have, like crazy, unusual point horns, antlers, like what? That joint survived.
Yeah.
And it was fit. And it was spreading, and it got to spread its genetics over and over.
But multiple different bitches too.
Yeah.
Or whatever they call them, female deers.
Does,
yes. And that's why I say for us as dog breeders, that's why I love my crosses, because of that explosion of genetics. And of course, if I need to tighten things up, like I said, if I'm going to make a line of dogs based off of a dog, then of course, you know, like I was giving y'all an example of, let's say AK. I'm going to make AK. He's going to have his own band dog. He's going to have his own bull herder. He's going to have his own pit bulls. You know what I mean? So, but I'm going to make sure he's always in. I'm going to make sure he's potent in that line, so that you will always see him, even though there's variances in there. Even though it's variance in AK, you will always see a different version of AK. But I gotta keep him in the forefront of his formula to make that a reality for generations to come. I can't be like, okay, I'll breed AK to his daughters and then, you know, make these superior dogs, and then I'm just gonna breed those and still call them AK-47 chopper dogs. Like that's like you like we were talking about earlier. What about all the dogs that came after AK? What about them? You know what I mean? They're discontinued now. AK was fucking in the line 10 years ago, but you still calling them AK dogs? That don't make no sense.
Right.
Unless you breed him to 6 different females or something like that. Yeah. And only use him as a founding stud.
But that gets watered down if we don't introduce AK after let's say 6 generations. He's already diluted. Because now we added other dogs in there, or let's say, okay.
No, that's what I'm saying. Don't add no more dogs.
So you saying just breed all those 6 different bitches offspring together?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
You don't even need that many. You don't even need that many, but that's what I did. I used 6 females and I rotated 3 studs off them to make my breed.
Okay. That makes sense.
I
So
mean,
you get your
and
variants.
like my first
You get your variants up
my
front.
first generation. Yeah. And you got all the diversity and all the traits that you need right there to have a closed yard forever.
That makes sense.
You never have to bring in another dog.
That makes a lot of sense. Do it all up front. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good idea. Hey, that's a
And then all
faster
your
way.
pups are, yeah, and all your pups are half of what you want them to be already.
Right, because you're making sure each bitch that you take that male to, or those 3 males to, got those, got those variances that you need for your genetic traits.
Right. And then when you breed them, 2 of them pups together, now they're half. Were you using AK?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's you're gonna be your stud. Okay, so the F2s will be half AK, quarter one bitch, quarter the other bitch. So automatically, especially if he's prepotent, but automatically his genes dominate all those pups. He's always half of the genetics of those pups, and you can select. You can throw away all the contributions from those females and just only select the pups that come out looking like him or
Right.
carry his traits. And only keep the diversity that you want.
Now, what about vigor though? What about that hybrid vigor? Over time, wouldn't my vigor be less? Breeding those kids together?
No, because you're not going to breed them tight like that.
You gonna throw another
No,
outcross,
especially with not that many. No. Matter of fact, 6 females is probably twice as much as you need. You could do this with 3 females.
And even though I intertwine those related half brothers, half sisters together, that's not going to diminish my vigor.
Right, because you always have. Well, you could inbreed them tight enough, but if you line breed them and keep the 3 generations in between before you bring the same dog back in, or don't breed the same female's pups together or to her kids, make sure she's removed.
But coach want to make
What I'm
better.
You
He
write
don't
it
want
all
to make
down
the
on
same
paper.
dog.
Go ahead, no, Mac. Who said it? Who
That's
said it?
that's
Who
a
was talking?
that's a formula to create the same dog. I think coach want to make better.
Right. That's what I was saying. Like, when would you need to? Because over time, it's going to tighten up, and those genes are going to get tighter and tighter and tighter. So, when would you?
Only if you make them. You still, as long as you don't throw it away, you're always breeding with them 4 dogs. You still have that genetic diversity as long as you don't inbreed. With that many dogs, you're never inbreeding.
So they won't. If with let's say
I mean,
with those 3,
I guess you are right. They got enough genetic diversity in them.
because if you're taking AK's, let's say AK's 3 baby mama's kids, and you breeding those together, of course those are your line breeding, but eventually it's going to get tight, because that's your genetic pool. And let's say the dogs are, they're good dogs, but for us to create those freaks, that's like I said, like that's where the art comes in with that, that vig, that hybrid vigor is so important for those fucking freaks.
Yeah,
like,
but okay, back to that. The only way you can get that 100% hybrid vigor that you're looking for is to do a F1 every time.
Oh, you gotta go.
So basically, what you need to do is you need to get like a super athletic female, or I'm for a scenario. You take a super athletic female and breed her to a male that's athletic but heavier, bullier, to get your hybrid vigor and those traits that you're looking for that athletic dog that's a little overdone. And
right, that's what I
just make that cross every time. Every time you want one of them pups, make that first F1 breeding. That's the only way to keep it.
Got you.
Or you can have a program. You can keep most of it, but have a long-term breeding project. But you can't keep it all. The F1 is that's where you max out, is that F1. But not if you're trying to create something, the F2 is where you got to go. Because if you're breeding for something that's not dominant, it's not going to show up in the F1. The dominant traits are going to cancel it out. You got to find 2 of them pups that have that trait.
Right.
And if you're not throwing away the genetics, bottlenecking it, you don't have to throw away your diversity. That's in breeding selection. You know, just like if you were selecting for dogs with long legs, you just deselect all the dogs with short legs. Well, yeah, you shorten up your gene pool. You know,
And then it starts to break
if you
down.
eliminate, yeah,
Loot in that.
but yeah, that might absolutely. Your thing might, what you might want to do is do the F1s, and then where if you really want to be good at the F1s, where your artistry work would be your line breeding of your 2 inbred lines that you're going to make your cross out of. If you're going to do an inbred AK line and an inbred Kango line or whatever to make your F1, the tighter you have those 2 lines without destroying them, the better your cross is going to be.
Yeah.
Because you want to throw, like you want that AK, you want his genes, when they split, you want both sides to be the same. You don't want them to give one set of traits to this pup and then the other set of traits to that pup. You want that line inbred so it's the same set of traits on both sides of the chromosome.
So let's say, okay, so I see what you're saying on that. Like for me, I like the variance of the genetics, right? So for example, when I bred AK to my band dog bitch, he had, you know, genetic variants based off of that F1 breeding, right? However, he had like a bulldog version of himself. He had a mastiff version of himself. He had himself, you know, like there's so many different variants that I seen it, of course, because I knew the different breeds, you know, in the formula. But for me, just me as a breeder, I don't want none of my dogs to be the same. Like I like to see like somebody got an actual bulldog AK. Like you see it, like, oh shit, but that looks like a AK bulldog. Like that shit baffled me. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But that's what I like. That's what I liked. I want to see AK in different variances. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no twins. I don't want no twin nothing. Now, if I get a twin, he got a son, like I got one, but he's shorter and he's a band dog, I'm cool with that. But none of the other dogs look like him. There's if that variance is something that I personally like as a breeder, because I personally had a vision that I want to see those genetics that I pay for. So if I can see that, but let's say AK is the dominant dog and I want to create a line off of AK, as long as he is influencing those genes, I'm great with that. However, I still want to produce better. So I don't want to get too tight. You know what I mean? So it's like you said, there's an art to it. It's very experimental, but you know, the only way we produce them freaks is with, you know, with the vigor. We gotta throw something different in there to produce those freaks of nature.
Up cross, yeah.
You know, and that's what I've just experienced, you know, me experimenting in my lab. That's what I've been able to see. You know what I mean? Like I've been able to see, like you mentioned, the F1s. Of course, I'm gonna see the most explosive shit on them F1s, but you know, me taking two of the same breeds, but different bred totally differently. And then I'm getting an explosion of genetics, and me knowing what I'm looking for, if I'm keeping all the puppies, That's if I'm going to do that. Then I'm watching. I'm taking my notes like how you doing, caveman. You keeping your shit back so you can pick the right dog because you're using your dogs. Not only am I using my dogs, but I need them to be producers. So that's the main reason why if I have something that I'm building from scratch, I keep everything because I don't know, even though the dog is performing the way I want, don't mean that he's going to produce what I want. Or she's going to produce what I want. You know,
Exactly.
and all I really want them to do, because each dog has their own variant and their genetic is so broad that each one is showing me something that I like and don't like. If that dog that, let's say I do like, for the most part, even though he got some things I don't like, or she got some things I don't like, if she's expressing herself in her offspring or himself in his offspring, then I'm using that. I need that. But I don't want to make the same. You know, I don't want to make the same shit. I gotta, if you my consumer and you bought my dog back in 3 years ago and you loved it or whatever, 10 years ago you loved it, you know, when you hit me up again, coach, I want that same line of dog. I want you to be like, yo, coach, this is better than the one I got last time, coach. I didn't think you could make it better. So I just think that artistry, and it's all of us experiment at the end of the day. So everything plays. You always hear me tell you guys this, like everything plays, line breed, inbreed, outcross. You just got to figure out what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what you want to see.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what it is. Once you see what you want to see, then it makes sense. Now, once you get it, then don't stay there. Make it better. Like, make it better. Now,
Yeah, because I seen better on both spectrums. I seen better on the breedings, how you saying it, and then I've seen people do it the way
you said muscle tone. Elaborate on that, Matt.
earlier when I was thinking about you had when I had brought it up, you had said a couple things and just nailed it right in the coffin. When I brought it up, I was just speaking about he don't have a actual dog, but but you know when you done bred the muscle tone,
Yeah, he got a formula.
the formula exactly.
Now watch this. With the bullies is a little different than what we doing. And why I say that is because they're not breeding for performance. So you can heavily inbreed and line breed to show that that phenotype. That's all they producing is phenotype. So they do a lot of heavy inbreeding and line breeding to keep them traits. You know what I'm saying? To keep them traits. Now, they do what Caveman said too. And if you're smart and you're a dog, you know, you a real dog breeder, you're going to do that. So like with Bashar, I'm sure he's taking his top stud and breeding them to, like I said, 5, 6 different bitches that match his phenotypical genetic characteristics, outcrosses, and then he's running them into each other. Because that's the only way you can stay as consistent as he's been for this long.
Right, but then you got Bossy Kennels who doing it exactly the way you said doing it. She bringing all outside. She say she not doing that line breeding, inbreeding, nothing. She say everything she doing is br- um bringing it from the outside blood, bringing outside blood in
Well,
to
if you
create
watch,
that
if you look
hybrid
at her,
vigor.
yes, if you look at her program, right, she's always raising the bar, right? She's been doing that, right? Color wise, size wise. So, in order for her to get better in her program or keep raising the bar, she has to. She can't go back into her same shit to make better. She has to outcross, and she understands what vigor does, and that's why. And you can see it in her program too.
Fact.
Them Brazilian pit monsters, they do the same thing.
You know, them joints is big, yo.
They do the same thing. And so that's why I say for us that do performance dogs, we got to understand that it has to be a reason why we cooking the way we cooking. And if you want dogs to be better as far as overall, you have to select the right outs to enhance it. It's like your car. It's like if we're putting a car together and let's say we had a winning racing season and shit, and we got competitors and shit. Next year we come out with the same fucking car. Hell no, we not come out. Hell nah. We know that our competitors is trying to copy and find out our formula. And 9 times out of 10, they probably found it out. So guess what we gonna do? We getting in the lab, we adding something different. We gonna add some more parts to our race car, and guess what? We gonna go faster. We gonna brake harder. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not gonna stay the same.
Right.
The Holstein dairy cattle breed was made out of 2 bulls.
The dairy cattle breed?
Yeah, I'm sure you can look it up easy enough. Holsteins.
Beef bowls.
But see, those aren't
dairy.
Those ain't the bulls we talking about though, man. We talking about the rodeo bulls. They don't make rodeo bulls like that.
Oh, El Toro.
A rodeo bull's a damn fucking F1.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know nothing about them. I was just speaking to the establishing a line. They established a line out of 2 bulls. Made a whole worldwide breed.
And that's why I always tell y'all
dairy breed on the planet.
And that's why I always say to y'all, everything plays. You know what I'm saying? So however you guys want to breed, try it, do it. You want to create a line and a family, you want to make your genetics tight, there's a way to do that. You want to influence some different shit, but still keep it remotely tight, there's a way to do that. If you want vigor in all your shit, there's a way to do that. If you want to kind of create a balance between your genetic characteristics that you already have established and your new shit, you can do that too. Like it all plays, but again, at least what we're talking about in this classroom, we talking about high performance dogs, man. We need them crosses. We need them crosses, man.
Right.
Like for example, Caveman, Nell Mac, Ready. Let's say y'all got genetic pieces, performance that my dog don't have, but what my dog do have, our dogs are very similar. All our dogs is very similar with what we do have. So I can say, okay, if I breed with one of your shit, Caveman, I know I'm not gonna lose too much of my shit because the shit I'm breeding with you has what my dog already has. Just this own, just your version of it. But I want to breed with you because you got something that I don't have.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's what the point I was going to make. Yeah.
Yes. So if I can assess that, knowing that, okay, even though it's a different family or whatever, different breed, there's a lot of similarities in the performance. So even though I'm going to a whole different genetic pool, I should still maintain. However, I will get vigor from it too. So that's what I'm betting on. Now, that doesn't matter. I mean, it's not guaranteed, but for the most part, I mean, it should work. And so then when you get those puppies, you keep those puppies, you put them to work, you see, okay, well, shit, that shit work.
I wouldn't recommend that because your dogs is already climbing and his dogs is already climbing trees. You put them 2 monsters together. Oh my goodness.
God. Yes. Yes.
But see, look, that's but what I'm
that's exactly how I breed.
Right.
Yep.
I'm about to say the same thing. That's how I want to do it.
Well, what I do, like, let's say you got a band dog that's going to be for hog work. That's the trait I breed for. And I try to get different styles and different diversities and add physical traits to my dogs from another dog that's different but is good at catching pigs.
Right.
They all have this one thing in common. They're all good at this, but they all have their differences.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that's how you don't lose what you already have in your dogs without having to inbreed.
Mm-hmm.
You find a dog that complements what
Compliment.
you already have. Like you said, if they both can catch pigs, that's what I want. But what this other dog brings to the table that my dog lacks, I want that too.
Right. Because it's always gonna bring something else that your dog
Yeah.
didn't have. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we raise the bar for the next generation. Now we raise the bar for that.
And
then
it's gonna be stronger too, because
because of hybrid vigor.
it got since it already got that same catch instinct, bringing that back into the other joint is going to make it even more powerful, more stronger.
Man, they ain't made no cages strong enough to hold them dogs yet.
Hell no.
But I mean that's an exciting thing to.
Yeah, he's speaking the truth there. My
exciting
dog's peeling apart hog panels.
Yeah. Yeah. My dogs break those steel them damn gel type European kennels. They pull them shits off the wells. You know what I'm saying? I thought those was indestructible at one time, but no, my dogs break those off the wells, pull them damn bars off the damn bars. They pull them off, or they'll bend them like Shaka did. So, but this is the art form, you guys, like this is the art form, and that's why I say I don't want us to be, and I know we're not, but for those of you who might be listening, might be new to this dog shit, might be hearing all these bloodlines from 30 years ago and all this shit 20 years ago, them dogs is dead unless the breeder is still cooking them dogs and he has a formula, not a dog, but the formula that made the bloodline. If that breeder is still cooking, has the formula, and is cooking the same formula, it's kind of like that horse secretary. This is what I would have did. I was thinking about this today. Now they was trying to reproduce Secretariat, right? That race horse that had the big heart and shit.
Yeah.
And they couldn't do it, right? They couldn't do it. So obviously he wasn't a producer. So they couldn't do it. Now, what I would have did, especially being rich like they were, now they might have done it. I don't know. But this is what I would have did. I would have went back to the formula that produced Secretariat. That's what I would have did. Whichever bloodlines that produce Secretariat, that cross, I would have went back to those horse breeders and I would have bought dogs off of those bloods, those different lines that produce Secretariat. And then I would have bred those for that vigor. I would have kept breeding for vigor.
Yeah.
Because that's why Secretariat was a freak. Hybrid vigor created that freak.
They probably didn't go that far, but they probably tried the parents again. Because I know Marlon tried
that though. They rich.
I know Marlon tried to redo Hawk, but it's only one Hawk.
You know Hulk got a twin
Hulk
brother, right?
How do you do it though?
Yeah, but it's
how do
only
you do
one
it though?
him though.
No, Matt. No, but how do he do it though? Did he
It's
do it how
another-
we talking about how?
Nah, twin.
Hybrid
He
vigor.
got a twin brother, bro.
But I don't think it's the same size.
Nah, he's the same size, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you that joint, bro. Because I
Okay.
did show everybody before, like way
But that
back.
was in the same litter though, right?
Yeah, that's the same litter.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about he put the same,
Oh, you mean
the mom and dad.
producing?
Yeah.
Nah.
But see, he don't have. Listen, did he produce Hulk? Didn't he produce him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or he bought him?
Nah, he produced them.
He must have
Ghostface.
He must have bred
That
Hulk's
white
mother
joint
when
he
her
had?
first heat or something.
No, he
Okay,
had had Hawk's mom. He just added the big tall dog, right?
Yeah,
And then
Ghostface.
created that dog. But he could. But even after doing that 2 or 3 more times, he didn't create another Hawk.
Nah.
Like what you were saying with the horse.
But he has a brother though that's as big as him.
But that came out the same litter.
But that's my
Yeah,
point.
no,
That's how you create.
Back in the days, the dogman told me that your females, when they're still growing, produce pups like they'll never produce again. Like they're still got growth hormones in them. Their growth platelets stop, and they give those hormones to their pups. Is their theory?
Huh.
I know for a
Hey, now
fact
check
they
this
make
out.
better
Chris
mothers.
said,
They nurse them better and take care of them.
now check this out. Chris said they only need to breed Secretariat back to his mother and his sister. Well, they don't be inbreeding horses because that's they don't do that shit because they say that that fucks up their their legs and shit like that. They don't do that shit with horses because they they say that's like going backwards with a horse if you inbreed them.
Yeah, he sounds like a game bird guy. That's a game bird tactic. And don't take breeding advice from game bird people because birds are not the same as mammals. They're right in their world, but they're not right in our world. It's not the
Right,
same.
I agree with you on that. Yeah, I agree with you on that. But see, hey, Chris, the key is the key is this, Chris. The key is like we got to keep it simple in our mathematics and understanding genetics. We know that the freaks come from them F1s or them total opposites, right? But the opposites make sense, right? That's why you breed it, right? There's the mathematics of why you putting these genetics together is why you breed it, and then you let God do what God do, and then maybe you get a freak out of there. So if you do get a freak like a Secretariat, and let's say you take him, you get a semen because he's the winner, he's all this shit, but he's not able to produce himself or better as someone that's rich like they are. That's why I said maybe they did try this, because this is what I would have did. I would have went back to the well, but see, I would have just tried it with I would have took the formula, not necessarily Secretariat's mom and dad, but the lines that Secretariat's mom and dad came from. I would have kept fucking getting horses from them and breeding them to make that vigor, and cross my fingers to God that I get a damn horse that's like Secretariat. That's what I would have did.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, fact.
Right? Go back to the formula that produced that.
Yeah. Hybrid vigor.
And it might not come from the parents, because that might just be one out of that, that genetic explosion. It might, that happens too. You know what I mean? Just kind of like how with AK, for example, he has brothers and sisters, and they have their own, whatever genetic characteristics. Everybody's a different variant of the genetics, and they might look good and all that shit, but they're not AK though. They're not him. So I might not be able to get that again, breeding AK's dad to his mom again, and it might not happen. But you know what? That formula genetically, I might be able to figure that out, and then maybe produce another freak. It might not be AK, but it's still his own freak. And that's how you got to think when it comes to like really cooking these type of dogs that we doing with performance. It's like, okay, if you're not able to get a producer that is that top performer, then you got to go back to the formula and cook it up. Go back to that formula and cook that until you get one that's a freak, that's a producer. But we talked about it earlier. You got to have patience, right? This ain't no microwave thing. It takes time.
Shit.
It takes time. And with the topic at hand, right? Why are diluted dog bloodlines of the past talked about like they potent today? That of the past shouldn't be talked about no more unless it's in the front, unless that dog is still in the front. If a dog that was dead 30 years and that breeder still got the formula to create that type dog, because he got either the semen because it's a producer, or he's got the daddies. Yeah, or he's got the daddies. Let's say the daddy was a producer. The son isn't the producer, but everybody knows the son. but the daddy's a producer, then unless that breeder got that daddy semen and he's interjecting it into all his different bitches, whatever, maybe back into his grandkid, great grandkid, whatever. If he's doing that, then guess what? Them dogs of 30 years ago is playing today. Because man, he did a breeding fucking 2 years ago with that dog that was 30 years dead. Back in the days, they wasn't into straws like we are now. I mean, I think the straw thing kind of kicked off probably in the early 90s,
Yeah.
mid 90s, maybe the straws. They wasn't keeping straws back in the, you know what I mean, in the 80s and shit, in the 70s.
Yeah, if Arnold Schwarzenegger's son go to the Spanish side and then his kids stay on the Spanish side and just stay there, then yeah, there ain't no more muscle.
Yeah, they're not Arnold Schwarzenegger no more.
Nope.
Now watch this though. This is the real shit though. Let's say, kind of like let's say LeVar Ball. He said, I don't know if you follow LeVar Ball, the Ball brothers, right? He said
Yeah, he
that
got
he
3.
got with his wife. He said he got with his wife because he wanted his sons to be basketball players. That's what he said.
Yeah.
He was smart.
Yeah.
And look what he produced. That's hybrid vigor right there. His wife was a basketball player, and so was he. He was a football player and a basketball player. Guess what he got? Superstars.
To win the possible.
That's vigor all day, baby. And that's how that's how like royal families do it. Once they figured out that they can't be inbreeding and shit, and cousins and all that shit, and aunties and uncles and shit, that shit fucking up your genetics and shit, you getting retarded, fucking dumbass kids. You like, fuck. We was the top tier.
Queen Elizabeth had two retarded twin sisters.
She was inbred too? They was inbred?
Yeah, they put them in the home, so nobody never seen them.
That's messed up.
But see, that's what we used to think, right? If you got superior blood and you come from kings and shit like that, you don't want to water your shit down, but that's not how nature operates. Like we said, that's not how nature, survival of the fittest. I don't care if you come from royal blood. If you weak, you don't get to breed. But when you
don't let that happen. Lions don't let that happen.
Yeah, nature don't allow that. The weak don't get to breed. But when you can dictate shit, fuck it. I mean, I got this, this son and shit. He kind of short, scraggly and shit, but he got royal blood. Here, have sex with your sister so we keep that blood going. Then you got some fucking bullshit. But you go over there, let's say you meet a king and shit, right? You go to Africa, right? You meet a damn, you meet Cleopatra. You know what I mean? You see how they, they're people built and shit. Like, damn it, man! I want my shit. I need them genetics. Plus y'all royal blood. Let's go ahead and do what we do. And then now you get that vigor in your family.
Mm-hmm.
Now them kids is fucking dominating you know what I'm saying? Your past bloodline. You're like, shit. Looking better than y'all, taller, stronger. You know what I mean? For the men, dick bigger. You know what I'm saying? Shit. You like, damn, we gotta do this again. Same thing with the dogs. Same thing with performance animals. Same thing with nature. So I just don't want us as engineers, and I know we're not, but I'm just speaking in general. I just don't want us as engineers to get caught up in that bloodline shit from 30 years ago and 20 years ago and shit. Don't get caught up in that stuff. That shit is diluted. That shit is diluted. There's no such thing. Don't do that to yourself. Do not discredit all the other dogs in your line, especially if they were worthy and that's the reason why you bred them. Don't discredit them. It all plays to a formula. And to be honest, we should be breeding formulas.
Formulas, word.
Instead of particular dogs. Because you might not be able to have enough straws to keep that particular dog alive, Like I have a red tiger. I only got 3 straws. After that, I mean, we ain't talking red tiger no more. This last straw, that's it. These kids that's red tigers, that's it. You know what I
That's a
mean?
formula though, right there, boy.
Yeah.
And that is, but like you just said, that's a formula. Formula One Bulldog formula. Now I can add my variances, but I'm going to add dogs that's going to maintain what I want, but then add something that's going to make them better. So I can call that Formula One Bulldog formula. And it's not based off a red tiger.
Right. It's gonna be that new tiger.
Yeah, it's going to be a newer version of it every time I breed it. I don't want it to be the same. You know what I mean? You know, like even when I start to breed Red Tiger Jr., he's his own self. So now he got to represent himself. But then when I take, breed him and cook up and make his kids, I need to make his kids better than him. And then his
Right.
kids better than them.
And so on, yeah.
But I can't breed tight and expect that. This is just me speaking. I can't breed tight and expect better dogs. Just me. If I bred like Buff Dogs bred Red Tiger, I would still have the same problems, probably worse. And I remember, check this out. I remember when I was talking to them and they had Red Tiger's dad and they had 2 females, different females, kind of like what you was talking about, Caveman, as far as the male and 2 different type females. But I was like, oh, okay, well, shit, you know what I mean? Since I'm getting y'all whole formula, let me get a male and a female. Matter of fact, no, let me get 2 females off the the other female with the dad. I'm a line breed. And then in the background, I heard Joe. He in the background, he's like, nah, don't do that. Now, of course, I heard him say it, but whatever. But as I owned the dogs, right? And had the dogs and had my setbacks with them and the things that was told to me that happened as far as the breathing issues and the no on-off switch that both of them had, especially Red Tiger. He ain't got no on-off switch. That boy drive, he just keep going and going and going. But when I saw that and I lost dogs because of that, I remember what he said. I was like, that's why he said don't do it, because he's telling me right now, if you do that shit, you're really gonna be fucked. Because I already did something similar to that. And I got the dogs phenotypically the way I wanted it, but I mean, shit, the performance is not up to my standard, but the money is for them bully type, them extreme bully type. So, that's what they got. But if I'm breeding the way I told him I wanted to breed, he was trying to warn me without, like giving me really like the insight. Like, this is why I'm saying don't do it. Now I understand. Because if I took Red Tiger to his half sister, then them dogs would be even worse than Red Tiger. They might look crazy and freaky, but I guarantee that breathing would have never got fixed.
It's added to the problem. Yeah.
I just added to the problem. But I got that look that have everybody, ooh, I want one of those, coach. Oh. But then, you take it out there to work. That shit can only work 10 minutes, 15 minutes without blowing up. That's just horrible.
And the crazy part is your dogs work and they want to work.
Hell yeah.
And
'Cause
that
when you look at other
was,
yards, they just chilling and they big. So they can't really do too much.
and that's why I understood it. I actually had an opportunity to get 3 females off of that litter too. She called me up. I was like, Coach, this is like 2 years later. No, this is 3 years later. That's when I lost Red Tiger and Brutus. I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna pass on that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna pass on that because it's like I don't want to compound that blood. I love the dogs the way they look, but I don't want to compound that. I got Red Tiger. I'm about to cook them up a different way, and so I declined it. I declined it. At first, I was going to do it, But I just didn't know how much that would set me back until I was set back by losing dogs. And I saw, you know, if you ever seen a dog have a heat stroke, man, that's just horrible, man. That shit is horrible to see a dog suffer from a heat stroke. When I seen that, trying to save a dog having seizures, bleeding out the mouth and the nose and shit, still alive but with a blank stare, but still alive with a blank stare and shit. That shit was horrible, man. That shit fucking traumatized me. I'm like, oh, fuck no. I ain't no way I'm gonna have a dog that can't breathe. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no way. Nope. I can't. Not for my program. Especially when the dog in his mind wants to work. But as a breeder, I didn't prep it. I didn't genetically modify it to be able to do mentally and perform physically the same way it thinks it can do. Like that's the shit that just like blew my mind. Seeing it. I knew what I bought, but seeing it was like I can't breed that shit. I don't care if the people want them bully type dogs or them extreme dogs. I can't cook it up like that. It's not worth it for me. Because you might not work your dog like the coach do. But let's say if that dog was doing what Red Tiger was doing at night, and then you come out and you see your dog dead, you know, I'll feel bad. So now I got to sacrifice type, right? I got to sacrifice type to correct it.
For the game
Now watch this, y'all. I didn't sacrifice type too much because on Tigress's side, her daddy is a specimen. Now I don't know how her daddy was bred. I got the pedigree, but I don't know the dogs in there. But the daddy was the reason why I bought Tigress. And the daddy is in these puppies. The daddy is even in my band dogs, the AR-15 band dogs. Hey, Pink Panther, wait till you see Pink Panther. I keep talking that shit about Pink Panther. Wait till you see Pink Panther, man. That's his. Pink Panther is a prettier version of his fucking grandfather. You know, the neck, so I knew Tigress would give me the type still. And she did. She did that with Red Tiger. She still gave me the type. But I know she's gonna give me that performance too, because the facial, the face, the nose, the nares, I'm already seeing it. You know, I'm listening to the panting. I'm already seeing it. So this is where the art form comes into play for us, as you know, like breeding these dogs the way we're trying to breed them, which is trying to raise the bar and make them better. But, you know, still trying to keep your type if you want a certain type of look. You know, it's like I said, it's a fine line. And you got to match dogs, even though they might come from a different family, still match and make them compatible with what you already have, if that makes sense, so that you don't lose as much. Because you're going to lose something to gain. We know that. You're going to lose something to gain something. We know that. But if I can minimize the loss because I'm making sure that whatever I add has something similar or the same, then I'm more than likely to get better than.
Right.
And that's the art form of this shit at the end of the day. Like, that's the art form of this shit. So do yourself a favor as dog men and dog women. Unless you know how to cook up a dog from 20 years ago, 30 years ago, don't discredit your line. All the other dogs that's in there, just because you want to get some clout off of a dog that's dead 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Don't do that, because for those of us who really cook dogs up, we know your shit is fucking watered down. Your shit that ain't the raw. That ain't the pure. Ain't no way.
Nope. It's their dog now.
And they only trying to trick new breeders because ain't nobody got that in their home.
Correct. But the most people is easily tricked. Like, they still talk like them. You know, and like I said, especially with the game dog cats, they still talk like them dogs from 30 years ago is right now. That shit blows my mind.
They can't stop line breeding. That's what they talk.
But when they line breeding, right? Only one that's probably doing it on a high level of line breeding. And watch this. I don't know if y'all peep game though. Go to Tom Garner's channel. Watch how he talking about them crosses now. There's a reason why he talking about crosses. There's a reason why he talking about crosses, out crosses now. Because watch this. See, like I said, I love the. Like I said, I'm at everybody's games. I just like to watch and take notes. So, Tom Garner had 2 new episodes on his YouTube channel talk about out crosses. Now he kind of like beat around the bush and shit, and kind of like he's trying to talk all scientific and shit. But you know, I read in between the lines. So you know, Tom Garner sells dogs for people all over the world. He got dogs all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Them cats overseas, right? They breed how we talking overseas. They're not caught up in how we are in America based off of these popular dogs, and we're going to breed based off these popular bloodlines, and I'm only breeding these bloodlines. Them cats overseas, they'll get a dog from Tom Gardner, and they'll breed it a certain way. And them cats overseas can really do things with those dogs, right? Tom Gardner, I'm sure he's hearing about how people are breeding his dogs. Okay. And not only is he hearing about it, but you know, he's probably getting some feedback about the stats of the productions and what they doing. So Tom is about his money and preserving his lines and shit like that. That's why he breeds the way he does, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if you really in tune with your performance, and you know, he can't do what he used to do. So performance really ain't in his forefront. He's just carrying on the prestige of those bloodlines that everybody like, and he's making money. But I know he's seeing the digression of his dogs. I know he's seeing it. I know he is. And I know he's hearing about them cats overseas who's using them dogs, how they breeding. And he's understanding that, you know what? I got to step outside of this formula that I've been doing for so many moons and get back to this vigor shit. I could get back to this crosses. And so he's been talking about crosses for the past 2 episodes. Y'all peep that. Go ahead and check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
Because I know he's seeing a digression of his lines. I know he is, because you can only breed that way for so long.
Right.
You can only intertwine the same bloodlines for what, 20? I don't know how long Tom Garner been breeding. 30 years, 40. I don't know.
Yeah,
You
long
can
time.
only breeding them type lines over and over and over and over again for so long before that shit starts to fucking crumble like a cookie. And
Especially
then,
if you ain't got no kennel partners.
well, he got a whole yard guy. You know, it's Tom Gardner we talking about here. You know what I'm saying? Plus, he got affiliates all over the place that got his dogs. But imagine if you are a dog man. I always like to put myself in Tom Gardner's shoe or another dog man's shoes. I sell dog to you. I sell to breeders, all kind of shit. And we keep in touch because they respect me and I respect them. You're my client. You respect me because I'm Tom Gardner. But you show me your productions off of my shit. And I'm looking at them. I gotta be honest with myself when I see it, like, yo, you making better shit than me with my shit. But
Right.
then you find out they're breeding your shit differently. They breeding your shit that they bought from you differently and making better dogs than you. That shit gotta, you know, as a competitor, that's gonna make me feel some type of way. Like, yeah, I respect y'all. Thank you for buying a dog, but I mean, I'm Tom Gardner. I can't let you make better dogs than me. So now to justify why he's going to be doing crosses, you know, he got to talk about it. He got to justify why a cross is important in nature and how nature does crosses. Like, you know, I read in between the lines, like, I mean, Tom, you running into a roadblock. That's one. And then also you got people around the world that got your shit overseas that's using them damn dogs. And they cooking up your dogs better than you.
Trying to step in front of
And that's no disrespect to Tom Gardner, but I mean, I read in between the lines, man. Why are you talking about outcrossing all of a sudden?
You need that new blood. You need that new.
Yeah, he knows because I mean, he would be doing it anyway, and I'm sure that's what he was doing when he was a competitor. But because he knows about the money and people that's buying them old ass bloodlines and shit, that's how he was breeding. But he's seeing his fucking product lose as far as performance. He's not even using those dogs anyway. He can't he'll go to jail if he did that shit. But I guarantee you his customers overseas is showing him some shit that he can't even do. Because he can't test his dogs like the boys overseas. But they're showing him crosses. Because them boys overseas breed for that shit. They'll breed whatever they want to breed in that shit to make that shit do what it do. They don't care. They like the old heads, like we talked about, like the old heads back in the day when there was no internet in the 70s and the 80s, where they didn't give a fuck. Nobody was in their yard. They cook whatever they want to cook up and compete with it.
Yeah.
So that shit was
Starting in
interesting, man.
overseas more and more.
I mean,
Like
they can still live that. They can still live that old school dog man life. We, in America, that's just dead. You go to jail. You go to the feds for that shit.
But it seemed like ain't none of the breeds start here. Everybody, reference from overseas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what them dogs did, they came from Ireland and, I mean, they came from overseas first. So we just got to, first of all, stay in our lane. Don't get caught up in the hype of things when it comes to these dogs. If you got an idea, try it. Don't freestyle it though. I always tell you, don't freestyle the shit. I'm like, oh, let me just use my imagination on some bah humbug. No. Make sure you have a plan of why you're gonna do what you do and breed the way you're gonna breed, and make sure it makes sense on paper. Then produce it. Produce the freak if you get it. Then see if it produces itself. If it doesn't produce itself, then take that formula and reproduce it again. Try your best. Or you take a litter mate that might not be of your liking as far as performance, and you breed it, and then it produces the freak. I've told y'all about that. I've had that happen. Where the dog that wasn't a freak produced freaks.
Right.
But it came from that same genetic pool, though. You see what I'm saying? It came from the same gene pool. Maybe something inside the dog didn't make it a top tier performer, right? Maybe some things that I didn't like phenotypically about the dog made it like, that's saying, but the genetics is there. I mean, it's in the dog. And how I cooked that dog up produced the freak. So thank you very much. But do not get caught up in these bloodlines of the past like that unless you got the formula. I stress it. Unless that breeder gives you the formula. Like if you bought Rolls Royce, let's say Rolls Royce, the brand was for sale, and the owners of Rolls Royce wants to sell. They're going to sell you the formula to make Rolls Royces. Now you can carry on and continue to make Rolls Royces. Now, if you buy a Rolls Royce from Rolls Royce and they still in the company, right? But then you take a Rolls Royce and you modify it and you still try to call it an original Rolls Royce, then the people who own the original is going to say, bro, that ain't no fucking. It's like how Jay-Z back in the day talked about Rolexes and how niggas got them Rolex and those ain't Rolex diamonds. I don't know if you ever heard him say that shit in one of his songs, but he talking the truth. Like, nigga, those ain't Rolex diamonds. Those didn't come from the factory. That's how these dog men is talking about dogs of the past. They talking about dogs of the past like it came from the factory. And we know that it didn't come from the factory. We know that. Them dogs is long gone. I don't know how many people got straws of them old dogs of the past. Who got Red Boy Jocko straws? I don't know, but I keep hearing that fucking. These are Red Boy Jocko dogs. Who got Red Boy Jocko straws?
I stay hearing that.
I got
These
that
are Bolio
Rolls Royce.
dogs.
I got a Rolls Royce, and then when you look at it, you be like, man, but Rolls Royce grills ain't like that.
Yeah, that's that Chrysler 300. Remember them Chrysler 300s?
Yeah,
They even put the Rolls
That's
Royce
that
kits on.
Chrysler. Yeah, that's that kit.
that's that kid.
Ah, oh my goodness. And that's what's going on with these dogs. They got these dogs with the kit on it.
The
The Red
team
Boy
kit.
Taco
Word.
kit.
The team.
And that's false, man. You false advertising. That's you know what I mean. You know, them dog men who really made them dogs, they be rolling over in their grave. They'll tell you right now, they ain't no motherfucking Red Boy Jocko dog. Shut up.
Timu dog.
What's that? That's that counterfeit, that Timu.
Yeah.
Them duplicates.
Fakes. The miniatures.
We should always be raising the bar. If you
Yeah.
have the formula, write your formula down. Produce dogs based off of the formula. If you have an individual dog you want to keep intact, like how I was saying, I'm gonna make an AK-47. He's gonna have his own line. Then you can either do what K-Man mentioned, take AK to 3 or 6 different bitches and take them. You know, you got enough genetic variances up front, and then you take those kids and intertwine them. Or you do like what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have as many straws as I can get off of my boy Chopper. And I'm gonna make sure that top and bottom, he's in there within the first 3 generations. That's what I'm gonna make sure. Because I know he's potent enough to show himself through the variants.
All right.
And I'll be able to tell you as a consumer, that's an AK dog. And then when I do a direct AK to, let's say, his great-great-granddaughter, okay, with the vigor in her, and I sell you a direct AK puppy, and they, you know, AK, let's say, is gone 20 years, but I got a direct AK. Then, you know, I'm gonna be able to charge you a high number for that damn dog because that's a direct.
Facts.
And it still got his blood in it from the past. So I just made it even more potent. And I can say 20 years later, that's an AK-47 chopper dog. And you can't say, oh, coach, you cap. AK's been dead 20 years ago. Like, no, yeah, he's dead, but his fucking semen ain't tied. The formula is
Yeah, I'd
not
rather
dead.
do it that way instead of clone.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would never clone a dog, man. Like, why I want the same dog? I want the same dog.
Facts.
Hit the semen up. If y'all ain't in tune with y'all clinics, find you a fertility clinic. If you got a top tier male that you love, preserve his ass. And he produces, preserve him. I wish they was able to keep female eggs. That would be the dopest.
That's crazy.
That would be the dopest.
That's a market in itself if they could do it.
I mean, they do it for humans. I don't know why they ain't figured out how to do it for dogs yet.
Because dog owners got to be willing to pay for the technology.
Yeah, true. I mean, but if they're paying for dogs to get cloned, I mean, shit, they can afford some eggs from your top tier bitches.
Yeah, you could just get a bunch of surrogate bitches and pull all the eggs out of your female and have all the pups whenever you wanted. You wouldn't even have to breed her. They do that shit. They do it with beef cattle all the time.
Well, I wonder why
flush the eggs out.
Why haven't they done it with fucking dogs yet? That's crazy.
Well, I mean, them beef cattle though, they're going for like 60 grand and more.
Damn.
Yeah, like 30 grand for a cheap bull calf, yearling.
Shit.
Yeah, wow. We in the wrong business. We need to be selling cows.
Yeah, you can watch those auctions on television. They broadcast them live. It's crazy.
You seen that? I'm not sure you guys seen that double muscle gene fucking cow. What they call that cow?
The Angus, it's like mixed with something like a wild ox or something.
You talking about the Belgian blue?
Yeah, Belgian
Yeah.
blue. Yes.
They got
Yeah.
the big horns and they got double muscle on its shoulders and its neck. The neck is big. Yeah. That
Yeah, that shit crazy, man.
new
Seeing that
shit.
now, that shit crazy.
I seen a greyhound with that joint. But it ain't make it faster. It just was double.
Don't they
No,
call
but
those?
it makes its offspring better.
What'd you say, Caveman?
It makes better offspring when you breed one of them double muscle dogs to a non-carrier dog. The offspring are top performers, even though the double muscle dog isn't.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is.
Will
That
they get double muscle?
No,
Okay. Oh
no.
no.
I believe that's a double. I believe that's a recessive too. You got to double up on it. I
You
haven't
gotta bring
really
two
played with it, but
dogs.
I know that from greyhound racers.
So is that just like a genetic like flaw, that double muscle gene?
Yeah, because I mean those dogs are bred to be pure muscle, so it's just like a double on up. Overdone. The same like a Staffordshire Terrier is a fucking double muscle pit bull, basically. Big bulky dog. They lose their agility.
Yeah, too much
Well,
muscle
that's
is
probably the
not
same reason people. Yeah, probably the same reason people bred staffs back in their pit bulls. You get that
right. Substance.
Get that extra. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I said, if you heavy inbreeding, you losing substance. So you throw that staff up in there, correct some of that shit up, correct some of that.
Yeah, people don't realize when you bottleneck, when you're selecting for stuff, that means you're deselecting all your other stuff. So tighter you go, the more or your gene pool you're throwing away.
Right. Yep. That's why I say it's an art form.
Damn.
Go ahead, young lady.
No, I said it's like a give and take, basically.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's an art form. It's an art form. Like, there needs to be a reason why you're doing it. Whatever breeding method you choose, there needs to be a reason why. We don't breed because a bloodline or a dog is popular and we're just gonna keep breeding that dog to make that dog relevant. Like you have to, if you're gonna do that, like we talked about, like I'm gonna do with AK, I have to make sure genetically I don't destroy him while making them better. That's that's going to be a gift. That's going to be a song and a dance, give and a take. But I'm not going to keep inbreeding them because I want to keep AK alive. I'm an inbreed. Man, I'm going to destroy him doing them that way. I'll destroy AK.
No.
But if you don't know any better, like a lot of, let's say, the dogmen of the past probably didn't know any better because they didn't have, like we talked about before, they didn't have the options of different dogs, maybe out there in West Virginia in the mountains. Versus somebody in the city, you got your homeboy got some, you got this guy got some, shit, we mixing and matching. You got somebody with a Doberman, you got somebody with a hound dog, you got, shit, we mixing and matching.
Yeah.
Well, you see that German Shepherd whoop all your game dogs' ass. You like, damn, that German Shepherd whooping all my shit. Let me breed that German Shepherd. My shit.
Yeah.
He whooping all my shit. I gotta breed him. Why not?
Yeah, my boy, he didn't
So
Yeah, I sold a guy a mountain cur once, and it got loose, pulled his stake, and got his chain tangled with one of his game dogs. He bred dogs and took them to the city. But the chains got tangled, and when he come back, that mountain cur was laying there like nothing happened. And he had to revive his pit bull.
Damn.
wow, at least he was able to revive his pit bull. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the heat. You know what I mean? Like if the pit bull got heat stroke and the hunting dog was built, for stamina more or what. I didn't see it, but he was kind of pissed, actually.
Yeah, I would have been pissed too.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to tell me something like that, but yeah, them hunting dogs are pretty gritty.
Well, I had a story I told y'all way, way, way back in the early episodes about a dog named Red Rum, one of AR-15, one of my band dog uh, sons, AR-15 sons, and one of my customers bought a puppy off of him, AR-15 and Tigress or whatever, and I remember it was like 6 months. Dog was 6 months, and my customer hit me up like, "Coach, this dog is kind of soft, man." I'm like, "What are you saying? He's soft? He's only 6 months old." He's like, "Yeah, he's kind of like he kind of stays away from the pack. He just kind of stays in the background and stuff." I was like, "Bro, you got all kind of dogs over there, and they're like you got grown ass dogs and males and shit just running around in a pack." I like that dog is smart. You know what I'm saying? Like that dog knows better. He ain't trying to fuck around with your dogs and shit. He's smart. And then guess what? That dog done killed all his shit. Killed his Malinois, killed his game pit bull, curd out his Rottweiler. But that dog was soft at 6 months old. It's like, come on, you know what I mean? Like, you just gotta let a dog be a dog, man.
Yeah.
And if it's in the genetics, it's in the DNA. The dog gonna figure out its place, but you don't want a dog that's gonna go out on a crash mission and you know what I mean, and crash himself out at 6 months old. That's a dumbass dog to me.
A dummy, yeah.
Let me go compete with this 3-year-old alpha male because he's nutting up on me and shit. No, you better cur out. You better cur your ass out and live to see another day until it's time. And that's exactly what happened too. So a lot of these dogs is transformers, man, more than meets the eyes. And you got to be able to see that early bird. Pay attention to it.
Yep.
Another thing I would suggest to you guys too, when you guys get these dogs and you expect them to do certain things at an early age, don't put, this is just me speaking, y'all can do what y'all want to do. Don't put such a high expectation on a young dog. Don't do that. Think of your son or your daughter. You got high hopes for them. You put them in all the, certain type of sports and camps, but they're not, improving the way you want to see them improve. And, instead of just, taking your time with them and motivating them, you break their courage down, you break their confidence down because you want them to do it right now.
Facts.
But mentally, they're not ready for it. But you're not really seeing that. You expecting them, hey, I put you through. You should be doing like fucking Bobby's son. Like, wait a minute, Dad, I'm just, like, no, how, certain dads is like that. That's how a lot of these dogmen are with their young puppies, their young dogs. They expect them to be super dog at a young age, and that's not realistic. Some dogs have that extra rah early bird, but they
Right.
lack other things too. They lack other things.
Mhm.
They don't. They might have that drive right now, but they lack an on-off switch. Now that's a problem. Like all this shit plays, but at the same time, we as dogmen shouldn't put high expectations on a young puppy. You let your puppy develop at its pace so you don't destroy its confidence. And if you have other dogs that can teach that young dog, that helps out a lot. That helps out a lot. Like I let my dogs teach each other. All I do is lay down the discipline and the love. That's what I do. I'm the love and the discipline. But when it comes to like pack drive and all that shit and the getting them on that rah, if that's what they're gonna be on, the dogs teach each other that shit. At least my dogs do.
Yeah, those slow starting dogs turn out to be better dogs a lot of times too.
Yeah, I agree.
They seem to be a little more complex, a little smarter. They got a little more brains, and where the quick starting dogs, they're all drive. You know, the other dog just thought about it a little longer.
Yes. And that's why I like a smart dog. I don't like dumb dogs. I don't like one-trick pony dogs. I don't like dogs with no on-off switch. I done had them all. I done had them all to assess the fact that I don't like those. I like a thinking dog. I like confidence in a dog. Don't we all? But if you can assess dogs, you done had many of them, and you see, like you mentioned, K-Man, a slow starting dog might be a little timid and shit like that, but there's a reason why you can see the dog thinking. That's me being aware. Okay, I'm not gonna throw you in the trash because you're not doing what this rah-rah dog is doing. That's cool. I'm liking it. It's cool what he's doing. I'm not knocking what he's doing, but at the same time, I see what you're doing too. You just not confident yet. You're looking for me as your pack leader to build your confidence. That's my job. Or the dogs in a pack, they'll do that with each other, right? The slower dog will eventually learn how to align himself with the pack eventually. Or, kill or be killed, right?
Basically.
And that's what I've seen in the dogs. Like I see how they deal with each other. I've seen a weak dog as a puppy become the dominant dog. I've seen that shit multiple times. He just had to, get acclimated, or she had to get acclimated with the program. And once they got acclimated and their confidence got built, then they became fucking the number one dog on the yard, or at least tried to. I'm like, oh, that's how.
Tired of getting fucked with.
Right. Exactly.
And they get hardened up too. Where the other dogs, they're just fighting for rank. They've never had to fight. They can be soft. Or that dog that's been fucked with all the time. It's hard. It's not fighting for rank. It's fighting to win.
Fighting to win, exactly, because that's what it had to do.
It ain't gonna it ain't gonna cur out. That's where the term rank cur comes in. This dog is fighting for rank.
I mean,
Well, that's why some people excel in the dog world and some don't, because there's because of stuff like that. You gotta understand the dogs and have patience.
Gotta have patience. That's the key.
Gotta let dogs be dogs.
And don't be afraid to introduce your dog. Go ahead, K-Man.
Oh, it's kind of like me and the Dobermans. I figured out after I said that the other day or other week, whatever, about the Dobermans. That dog is just persistent, is what it is.
Well, it's always looking for something.
That's why. Yeah, well, and it don't get the point. You know what I mean? But that's a good thing in that type of dog. You want them to, they get something in their head. You want them to carry through with it, not be deterred. And I'm like, back off, motherfucker. Give me a minute. And she's just like on top of it. Ain't the dog's dumb, but I think she's dumb because she ain't doing what I want her to. But she ain't. She's just persistent.
Right.
Well, it might not be the right breed for some people.
Right. Right. But see, that's you being around multiple dogs. You can assess that correctly. Most people who don't understand dogs, they'll take that as, oh, that's a dumb dog and throw it out or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this dog ain't shit. Versus like, do you understand what that dog is trying to tell you? Probably not. Do you understand the dog that you own? Probably not. Like I have when I took one of my females to get a TCI done. She ain't never been off my yard. Confident in my yard. But when I brought her out and took her to the vet area, man, that bitch had her tail and she was like crouching down. Like you would never think that bitch was confident. Now, me understanding why, right? I wasn't like, oh, you little fucking cowardly bitch. I'm like, no, that bitch ain't never stepped off the yard.
Yeah,
There's
that's
so many
why.
smells. Like she's using her brain. Like she don't know. Like she don't know, well, how should I respond to this? All these smells. I've never smelled this shit before. I saw all this, the cars and the people, and should I fucking bite them? Should I, what I mean? So when she was acting that way, it didn't make me feel different about her, even though I'm like, damn bitch, you're embarrassing me, right? In my mind. But I knew why, you know what I mean? Like I knew why. Like I've never introduced her to anything outside my 6.5 acres. So everything that she's seeing at 3 years old is like, what the fuck is this? How do I respond to this? And I knew that. So if I don't want dogs to respond like that, then I need to know, okay, well, shit, for the next time, maybe I should, take her for walks around my neighborhood. Let her crouch down and be kind of weirded out for a while. But, with dogs, they learn by reps. So the more times I bring her out, I'm sure she'll be more and more upright and more confident in the sounds. And then, shit, maybe in about a week, maybe 2 weeks, she's cool next time I take her out to the vet. But some people are like, oh, that dog's a cur, that dog's timid and shit. Well, fuck. Well, I mean, shit. What do you think? What do you expect? What if you ain't never been somewhere?
On social.
You might be the most confident man in the world and shit till you go over to Iraq and shit. You hear all them damn gunshots and shit. Now you ducking and running and shit like a bitch.
Yeah.
But in the hood and the streets, you the done data. You the done data in the hood and shit. But you go out there with motherfuckers carrying AKs and everything, and all you hear is gunshots and bombs over Baghdad, you a bitch. Until you get adjusted to it. That's the same thing with our dogs, y'all. That's the same thing with our dogs, man. Do you guys got anything else to add on to this topic? I mean, I think we done hit it on the head, the nail on the head. You know what I mean? Everything that you guys said actually in the beginning made a lot of sense. And we just know better, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know better. Like, don't get caught up in that shit. Don't get caught up in the hype. Don't promote your dogs that way unless them dogs are really in the front of that fucking genetic pedigree or that genetic recipe like we talked about.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
Nah, I was gonna say my dog, my new joint was kind of acting like how your dog was acting when you first brought it out. Because when the guy dropped it off, it puked in the back of his car. He had a brand new Audi, and it puked all over the back seat.
Oh, got him.
Yeah, he wasn't even tight, but he was cleaning it, and I seen the dog. I was about to put the collar that I had got for the dog on there. That joint was too small, man. I was like, what? Because I didn't know he was going to be how big he was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he definitely big. He bigger than his damn parents. Like,
yeah. So he let me keep the harness. And I was like, before I bring him in the crib, I'm going to take him for a little walk around the neighborhood. See? And let him get to know me and stuff. So I started walk. It took like an hour and a half for me to get him like up at least 3 blocks because he was looking at everything, and he was looking for the owner a little bit.
Yeah.
So he had to kind of like drive away and shit. And then after that, I had to like keep coaxing the dog and telling him he a good boy and all that crap. And he started moving. But every little sound, every person he saw, he just stopped and looked at him for a little minute. Like,
yeah.
Trucks,
and that's normal.
All that, just looking. But he wasn't aggressive. He wasn't barking. None of that. Took him to the park. People running right by him. He wasn't affected. He didn't do nothing. It's like, that's what you want, though, right? He ain't pull me, none of that.
Yeah, that's normal though. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's normal.
He
But
never
you
been
know,
on a leash. Yeah. He never been on a leash before.
but some dog men would say, "Oh, your dog is timid. That dog is trash."
Hell no.
You know, like that's some shit that motherfuckers would tell your ass. Some, you know what I mean? Some shit like, bro, like really?
This is a grown man right here. He a baby, but this is a lion right here.
Yeah.
He walked
And
back. We walked back. He was looking like he was kind of looking still kind of unsure, but he walked the whole way back. We was good, and he stayed at my side, and I like that.
yep, reps, and more reps. That's how you teach a dog. The
Yeah,
more reps you do with a dog, the more confident that dog will become.
yeah.
Period. You know, now there are some dogs that just ain't got it. I mean, that's just like some kids, just like some people. They just ain't got it. It ain't mine. It don't click. But those are few and far between.
Mm.
And then there are some dogs that excel faster than others. That plays too. But if you good with dogs and relating with dogs, and you understand that reps is the key, and you take your time and you build that confidence and that love and that relationship with that dog will fucking die for you. Do anything, you know how dogs are. Man's best friend. Them motherfuckers will go to the end for your ass if they believe in you.
That's a fact.
And I see it in all my dogs because I have so many of them. But at the same time, I see them compete for me all the time. They be competing like a motherfucker just to please me. And that's no training. That's just for the fact that you know what, they see all the other dogs doing, so they copy each other. Oh, he's doing that. Oh, I'm gonna do it too. He's going outside. He's going there. I want to go outside. I want to go over there.
And they
Like
all
like that's how
compete,
dogs think.
and they all competing for your affection.
Yeah,
Let
they
me be
don't
more louder. Yeah, loud. Let me be louder.
Yep, follow the leader. That's how they operate. That's why they pack animals. Follow the leader. So make sure you guys as dogmen are good leaders and take your time, man. Take your time with the dog. Build that relationship up with that dog. You know, take your time, do it right. But anyway, let's close out. You know what I'm saying? We had a great show tonight. Hope you guys learned something in the classroom. And man, just continue being pioneers, continue, raising the bar. Continue, using your genetic mathematical mind to cook up better dogs. Don't be afraid to try things, but make it make sense before you try it. And yeah, we keep it simple, stupid over here, man. We ain't trying to complicate. We're not trying to complicate the shit. We're not trying to cap just to sell dogs. Don't fall victim to it, okay? Somebody tells you they got a red boy Jocko dog for sale, it's not a red boy Jocko dog. Them dogs is dead, man. You know what I mean? Don't believe the hype. But until next time, you guys, man. Anything
Good
else you got?
cook up.
No, thank you. No, Mac. No, it was a great cook up. Anything else you guys got to say?
Till next time, I guess.
Until next, you know what I mean? K man, thank you, man, for blessing us with your knowledge
Good
as
night,
well.
everybody.
You know what I mean? But as we say, man,
Yep, same to
believe
y'all.
folks.
Salute.
We are out.
Salute.
Salute, chat.
Salute, chat.
Peace.
Peace.